cocaine wasn't strong enough, so he went to heroin.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, so like we weren't recording for the whole cocaine bear thing we just did because we're not going to put our audience through that again.
Again.
But they heard that part. So just so you guys know.
A whole series, we're going to do heroin, we're going to do meth, and we're just going to pick an animal.
Yeah.
We'll just go through it.
I mean, that's fair. I think you keep cocaine because like cocaine's like one of the fun ones. You know, like, you know.
Do you do tiger or chimpanzee?
Oh no, chimpanzee. Well, it depends. Like, if you want it to be scary, you got to do chimp. But also, is that scorched earth now after Nope? I don't know.
I guess so.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Right.
Welcome to the show. Well, there's a fourth person here. Now, I know it might only seem like there's 3 boxes. But there are 4 people, because one of the boxes, 2 people. Isaac is in the other box.
I'm very proud to say that we are increasing the black population.
As we should. You had to fight tooth and nail to bring a white. I'm kidding, Jazz. I know you're Jewish.
And Jasper, I'm so glad you're here.
Gotta give some perspective from the north side, my boys.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like
the northwest side.
It's like the north side, but poorer.
Yes, you're not wrong. Until you get to Nord Park, and then it's like, all right, we don't talk to you.
Yeah, then it's the west side again. It's just the northern part of it. Like,
right. But
this is a show.
We're
this is a show.
Again.
Great week. We've had a great week.
Education's here because we all went to a concert.
Yeah.
We're all going to share our experiences and hopefully get one full picture of what actually happened.
Yeah. We're gonna try and Rosh Hashanah this because like it's.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Up top we saw the JID and Smino show that was at the Argonne Ballroom 3 days ago when this will be live.
Yes.
So Tuesday the 21st, and
amazing,
fantastic, hell of a way to kick off concert season, I'd say.
Hell boy, I wish I experienced more of it. I'm just gonna say that.
It's not like I feel like we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to the concert itself. But we got some releases this week, including one I'm obscenely excited about. Purvis, you want to run them down?
Of course, yes. Starting off with the albums, we have JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown finally coming out with their collab. You are too excited.
I'm so excited for this album. You have no idea how many times I'm going to play this in rooms where Rachel's in when she doesn't know I have the ability to play music in that room. Like,
you're going to terrify her. You know, right?
Yeah. Right, well. It's the name of the album.
Good luck to all of the love.
Let's hope I survive. If you see me next week.
Well, this is officially your, like, her loss. This is your version of her loss.
Yeah, this is like her loss for people who are weird. Like, this is her loss for incels. Or me.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
You will be officially scaring everyone.
Yeah.
But I think it's
2023 is scare the hose season.
Yes.
I love that.
Okay, I'm not gonna jump in on this.
Yeah.
Purvis
has something to lose.
Right. Jesus. The exact opposite route of love, we have Black coming out with "Since I Have a Lover," which is an actual
I'm
R&B
also
album.
excited for that. I'm gonna listen to both, and that's called Duality.
It's gonna be good. The duality of man.
We haven't had a good dual release since Smino and West Side Gun, so this will be nice.
This is true. The only other like huge one I could think of is like Astroworld and Swimming. Those are like 2 totally different albums.
There was back in 2013, Yeezus, Watching Movies, and Born Sinner.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah,
that is
a lot. There were
but
other ones I remember, but I'll say them periodically throughout the podcast.
They'll come up eventually. We have Hit Boy coming out with Surf or Drown. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done as much research on Hit Boy as the other people.
Yeah.
But I did see a lot of features are kind of surrounded by.
Yeah, he's a producer, so I assume this is a producer album like the Metro Boomin one.
Very similar to it. I know he's working with The Alchemist a lot in it, so I'm here for it.
And you put The Alchemist on a project, I'm there. I don't care if it's the Alchemist producing the California raisins. I am there.
Well, I'm actually gonna get to another Alchemist that I'm very excited about very soon.
Yeah.
But we also have Coda the Friend coming out to see a sunset. Isaac, I know this has been
Coda, that's my boy.
this took over the Fletcher's family.
Yeah. So yeah, with our family, yeah, that's a good point. So with our
I'm so much
family,
to it, everyone.
Coda has pretty much kind of taken over for the cousins group, and talk about consistency.
Yeah, he is.
He just out of nowhere just randomly just drops stuff whenever the hell he wants. And it's usually pretty decent quality because a lot of artists drop stuff just back to back to back, and the consistency is insane. He's been pretty consistent. I'm a huge fan, so I'm definitely excited. So I'm pretty sure I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure that'll probably be the first thing playing in my car.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Perfectly.
Yeah. I mean,
have you guys like dove into his discography yet? Because
I don't know who this guy is.
okay.
Oh man, yeah. No, you gotta jump in there. So Coda the Friend came out. I feel like he really, really blew up during COVID to me personally, because he literally just stayed at home and he just kept just freestyling, dropping songs. He was out
He
before
took advantage
COVID.
of it. Yeah.
He took advantage of it. He's been out before COVID, so we're looking at it right now. He dropped a mixtape or album in 2011. He dropped the album in 2018, and then after that, he just went crazy.
A lot.
1 in 2019, 2 in 2020, 2 in 21, 2 in 22, and he's already dropped 1 in 23. So pretty much he just locked himself. He's an underground artist. I'm hoping eventually he's kind of grows past that. Yeah, I'm hoping he kind of gets bigger than that. To me personally, I know artists that you guys mention a lot that I will compare him to. Saba, but I was Saba, definitely Saba. He definitely falls to the same category as Saba. The flow, the rap, I definitely put him in the same category as Saba. So if you haven't gotten to him, I definitely recommend just checking him out.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Send me the first project I should dive into though, because it sounds like there's a lot.
The one in 2011 didn't get a lot of love. But pretty much after that, the one from 2018, anything
or everything,
he took off like a rocket.
Okay,
I'll send you a couple songs.
Cool. Do that. You know I love it when you do that.
Besides Coda the Friend, then we have a couple of singles coming out as well. As I mentioned, I'm super excited about. I mentioned before, Alchemist coming back up. Larry June featuring Big Sean
Dude,
by the Alchemist.
Look, I like Big Sean. I got respect for Big Sean, but I was never that big of a fan. Just keep it real.
I mean, that's fair enough. He's one of those people you have to respect.
Yeah.
Because when we saw Paula,
amazing show. Oh, amazing show. Yeah, no, 100%. He sounds so good over an Alchemist beat. Like, huh?
Honestly,
I don't know about that because he's.
My question was. No, go ahead. I don't know. He should be larger.
I feel like he is pretty large, though. Like, I feel like my answer is no, but I feel like he's larger than a lot of people think he is. So
he's a household name. I'll say that.
I mean, as much as anyone else, I would say probably a normie music listener probably knows Big Sean over they know Pusha T. Someone who's like listening to. Who's like a pop music centered diet, I would say, probably leans more that way.
I would probably compare him to Wale.
I think that's a good one. I think Wale I feel like Wale is underrated, like full stop. I don't know if Big Sean is underrated. I think like he is kind of, I think people underrate how popular he is.
That is true.
I think he's much more popular than people think he is, right? So once again, I don't think he necessarily needs to be bigger, but I think he should get credit for as the fan base he has.
I agree with that. But they dropped I don't know, how do you pronounce the city? I've never been there.
Palisades.
Palisades? that they dropped that. The music video looks amazing. I think, and this might be pushing it. I think every major artist should have at least one song or one beat that's made by like The Alchemist or something around the general theme and like quality of like Griselda. I honestly think every artist should have at least
Do you
one song
mean
that
just
dives in.
like kind of the at least one song that like throws back in like a modern way?
Exactly.
That's kind because like
Just to show their skill.
yeah,
If they can like jump into that kind of form.
truly cut it.
Because he impressed me. Like this song's amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I still gotta listen to the full thing. I haven't yet, but I saw the verse that you sent to me, and I was like, whoa! I thought it came out on Friday. I didn't even think it was out.
Yep, it caught me off guard. I'm fully in.
You know what I'd love to do at some point? I'd love for us to do an episode where we rank different songs that have the same name within the genre.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because when I hear Palisades, I think of Kawhi Gambino
Yeah.
Palisades.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And I'm like, very, very
That's how
different.
That's how I know
But also-
how that's what it's called is from that song.
Yeah. So like I would love to do like the ranking of like here are the best songs
Yeah.
called this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Well, Dr. Dre has a song.
Which one?
Oh crap! Because Jay did another song with the same title, same beat, and J. Cole did the same thing.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Another-
for the Adonis interlude.
With the same- Crap!
Yeah, no, it's the it's
All three of them. Dre
all three
did
of
it.
them. They borrowed
Jay
the
Z
flow.
did it, and then
Yeah.
J. Cole was the last to do it. It's the same beat.
Dude,
They switched the beat up just a smidget and titled it, I believe, the same thing.
so the J. Cole version is called the Adonis interlude because it's in Creed 3.
Oh yeah, from the movies, from the Creed
And
movie.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say this, Purvis, you have 3 weeks to see it. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
That's
But,
fair. That's
like,
fair. I'm going to see
the-
it.
That's
The name,
watch it.
the drop, the
Yeah.
scene where they dropped the J. Cole song in Creed 3.
They had to be
Fits
tricky.
perfectly.
Oh my, dude, it's like one of the best music drops in the history of movies. Like it's like really,
Right.
like really like cinematically well done. Right? I'm not gonna get it. But what's cool is in the beginning of the movie they play the Dre version. They play the Dre song.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
cool.
like in the beginning, so the whole thing is that like the bad guy is like a kid from his childhood. So like when they're
Right,
kids,
right.
you hear them playing the Dre song, and then like during the Rocky montage, they drop the J. Cole version,
Okay.
and it just hits. And like when you know like the history between the songs, it hits even harder.
There you go. 'Cause
That's
I
why
think
I'm so
Drake
mad Purvis
called
hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that's it. So I believe Drake called it Watcher. Jay-Z called it the Watcher 2.
Yeah,
And so
Yeah.
J. Cole used it as the Adonis. Okay, all right. So the Jasper, that would be dope.
And then we've got Bitch Please Part 1 and 2.
There you go.
That's true.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Bitch Please 1 is good, but I think Bitch Please 2 improves.
I don't even know what those are.
Oops.
The first one is a Snoop Dogg track, I think, and then
Oh.
the second one is Eminem. It's off of
Yeah.
it's off Marshall Mathers LP, and it's him and a bunch of other people.
I don't think if you like put a gun to my head right now, I don't think I could name 2 songs that have the same title.
Mine is going to
Really?
be Company.
Huh?
Mine is Company. Drake Company with
yeah.
Travis Scott, Giant Tyler Company.
Yeah.
Oh, the only one I can think of is After Dark, Mr. Kitty and Drake.
They,
There
okay.
you go.
Yeah, like
Wait,
even though 2
would it
different
be-
genres. Like,
Till we do Solo Dolo Part 1,
Would
2,
it be
and 3.
the
Hey, there
dude,
you
that's
go.
a hard ass question though. That's a hard ass question though.
That's not that hard of a question.
That's true.
Is it? I think they're all really good and they're all very different.
They are, but for me, there's one that stands well above the other 2.
We're not talking about it
personally.
right now. You got to say it, Jasper. You got to hold this to your chest. It's not like you're saving
Which
it for
one
the
is it?
segment.
I am saving
I
this
mean,
for the segment.
No, there's no segment. Like we're talking about JID. Like you got to say it right now, or I'm booting
For me,
you from the
it's for me,
Discord.
it's part 1 all day, Part 1.
Maybe
Part
another
1 is
Solo
really
Dolo.
good. Part 1 is
It
really
may
good.
be another Solo Dolo before this year's over with.
That is true.
Yeah, it's just like the first one's so good. It's so good. And then the second one has the greatest
A good
rapper of
verse.
all time. And then the third one is
There's
like
a lot of competition.
a complete reimagining that feels like a Red Dead Redemption trailer in like the best way.
Slow, yeah,
Like-
it's slower.
Yeah. Like that's a challenging one for me. That's a real challenging one. I was thinking the other day about like which is the best Man on the Moon album, and I'm like, that's a lot harder than I ever thought it would be. I think I have an answer. I think I would say 2, but
you also have to think about what you're going through during the time.
Yeah, that was because like I had just recently gotten broken up with, and that was like my first like big thing. But I love Man on the Moon too.
It's a good option.
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
Jazz, explain it. Explain the fucking fotch. I can't get over it.
I'm not explaining shit. Man on the Moon 1 is my favorite album of all time.
Man on the Moon 1 is very, very good. I'm never
nothing else tops that.
No,
me.
that's a solid take. I can't get mad at that.
Like, I love 2. There's a lot of songs I like on 2. I think the pacing is not perfect, and I think a lot of that has to do with where he was making it, just mentally. But like, yeah, I mean, Erase Me and fucking like Ghost and shit like that.
Ghost
there are
incredible.
There are massive hitters on that.
Dude,
for sure.
Do you know which one low key I put on sometimes just takes me to a different planet? Is These Worries.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man.
With Mary J. Blige, yeah. But I can't front at Man on the Moon 1 over it. I can't. That's just like.
I have a question, Jasper. Then,
yeah.
And just curious because I'm kind of stuck between the two. If you are saying Man on the Moon, do you prefer A Kid Named Cudi or Man on the Moon? Because like A Kid Named Cudi was like leading up to Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. A Kid Named Cudi is a Kid Named Cudi is too rough.
Okay.
And I think very good take, Jasper. I completely endorse that take.
Yes.
Incredibly good take.
I think that Cudi falls into a trap on a couple of projects where he delivers too many slow songs in a way that they all tend to blur together a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that Pillow Talk and the songs that surround it on A Kid Named Cudi do that. I think it also happens on Satellite Flight with Balmain Jeans and everything that kind of comes around that. It's just like, I don't think there's enough momentum with it. And I think it then like kind of loses the flow. You get back to it with what is it? The Barkley, like Save My Soul, and then the one after that, Knock Knock, the second song after that. But like there's just like it doesn't have the pacing, and I like the narrative nature of, Man on the Moon, because without that we wouldn't have Rodeo. Like that's a direct inspiration. Is the rodeo format is directly taken from Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
I'll take it.
I completely agree with those takes, especially on the Kid Named Cudi. That is exactly what I felt going back re-listening to it. I also don't think Pillow Talk is a very good song. Like,
yeah. Okay. So here's what it is.
Like,
here's what it
is
for me, right?
Cringy and like.
Yeah, I agree. It's strong, right? It starts out really strong. You get all the way up through Man on the Moon, The Prayer, Day and Night, Embrace the Martian. Embrace the Martian slaps. I will not hear otherwise.
Embrace the Martian slaps, yeah.
And then Maui Wow, you start calming down. That song is still really good.
Maui Wow is a classic.
But then you get Whenever and Pillow Talk back to back, and they're both really slow.
Subpar. Yeah, and
you completely change the tempo.
Yeah.
And then after that you get Save My Soul, which is building it back up, and then you get TGIF, which is like
also very
fire.
Good. Yeah, very
bars.
Yeah.
But then it's like you get this again, it's like how I feel about Days Before. You get this dip.
It's
right
a
in the
roller
middle.
coaster.
Yeah. And it feels
but
like it ramps up too quickly at the end. Yeah. And it just has too little movement in the middle.
Yeah.
At least he ended with Heaven Tonight. That's a great song.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Cleveland is the Reason, though. We don't need to talk about that track.
Really?
I don't
think that song's awful. I think
it's not bad. It's just that, like, is Cleveland the reason?
For a lot of people's drug abuse,
you gotta give Ohio.
I have questions.
How many artists try to do something for their hometown?
Literally every hip hop artist.
And that's the thing about how many were
from Cleveland?
Not Cleveland.
Big Buddy and Machine Gun Kelly.
How many were super successful? No, I'm saying how many were super successful? Okay, you got Jay-Z and Alicia Keys with New York. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that song.
From New York, yeah.
But then you have artists that do songs for their hometown and they just don't erupt.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean Kanye Homecoming.
And that's why Kanye has I think.
I think Homecoming goes though.
And Lupe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago has a lot.
Chicago has a lot. Yeah, Chicago is
So Kanye, Chance, Lupe, and Common.
even our rock bands make
What-
songs about Chicago.
California love.
See what I'm saying? That's a good example.
Yeah.
When you hear that, you think
It's
California. So with the 4 artists that we just mentioned from Chicago,
who actually had a Chicago song?
okay, we know Kanye did.
Yeah.
Kanye's got a lot of them.
Yeah, Kanye's got a few. Lupe had one that came out last
really
year.
made you think about Chicago.
100 Chicago's is very much about the city.
100 Chicago.
Unless you're from here.
No, it's like
That's tough.
No, 100 Chicago's is put you in the city.
Look, for me being here, yes. But if I was living outside, am I really
It
listening?
literally says, I mean, if you're a Lupe
Am I
Fiasco fan,
listening to that?
So
am
it's
I
gonna
listening?
be a large
Like,
blow-up
yeah,
song.
my answer to that question is yes.
you know, you get songs for California. Everybody could think of one song about California.
For me, it's California Girls by Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it's California Boy by Little B.
Hey.
New York. Maybe even Welcome to Miami with Will Smith. That's an old ass song.
Yeah.
That is.
Look, I know it's not hip hop, but Fall Out Boy is one of the best Chicago anthems of all time. Chicago is so 2 years ago.
I like Fall Out
And
Boy.
there's a light on in Chicago, and I know I should be home. One of the best songs about the city in our.
I feel like we don't get enough love.
Frank Ocean has a song named Chicago.
Yeah.
Look.
All I know is this: like the other day, I was talking about Cage the Elephant because they're from Rachel's hometown, and I'm like, "Oh, are you listening to Cage the Elephant because they're from your hometown?" And she got so mad at me because so many of my favorite artists are from Chicago, and she's like, "You fucking hypocrite! Like everyone is from here. Shut up!" Like,
I don't think we get enough love. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's not flying.
I agree because like most of the people think about Chicago, they think about the evening news.
I'm gonna be honest. A song that very much hits Chicago for me is "Don't Like" or "I Don't Like."
Ooh,
only because that video, the guy in the back is wearing the red Success hoodie. Shout out VDOT and shout out fucking Frano at Success. Those are my boys.
Look,
I do like "Don't Like." I love that song.
We forgot
movies.
We have a lot of movies.
We have movies like that.
Movies shot here.
I just put up the Blues Brothers. That's huge.
That's a classic.
The Dark
Knight.
Yeah, The Dark Knight. That's
another classic.
Yeah.
Okay. Transformers.
I'll take that.
Transformers not a classic.
Less of a classic.
It's not a classic. No. Wait. Yeah. When I said Transformers, I didn't mean classic. I'm just saying.
It's worth it, though. It's like one of the better scenes in the Transformers franchise.
Hot take, underrated movie that is like fun to rewatch, even though you can't take it seriously. That was filmed here. Wanted.
Wanted was not here.
Yeah, that entire movie takes place here.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
So Home Alone, Breakfast Club, Uncle Buck.
Those were
Uncle Buck. Basically, all of those movies, all like was it John Hughes?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of his movies are all like Chicagoland area.
Okay, so we're looking at the movies that were shot here.
Yeah.
Candyman.
The new Candyman was shot.
Candyman is like about here.
Yeah.
That's
and then you've got like the shows too. You've got like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD.
Yeah,
those are marks against us. Like
valid.
Those are marks.
Okay, but Shameless is not.
Shameless got real bad in the last few seasons, but yes, Shameless is not.
Michael. Right. Space Jam because Michael Jordan.
Right. Also,
this is the conversation.
The last
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2
was shot here.
Really?
Parts of it. Large sections of it were shot in Chicago, especially the part where Peter Parker saves the L from coming off the tracks. That's literally the L train. That's a CTA train. That's not MTA.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, cool.
The only thing is that like Spider-Man is so iconically New York.
I know.
Yeah,
it's hard to.
In that movie, especially in a post 9/11 like world, that movie got really wrapped up in the politics of New York. But yeah, no, you're right. That was shot here. When you brought it up, I would not have thought about that for the life of me. But I remember hearing that.
That scene is so iconic. I can't not think about it.
It is
just, like,
very
with the
iconic,
trains.
but I never
It's-
think about it
yeah.
in the terms of Chicago.
Oh, Risky Business.
Risky Business.
Tom
yeah,
Cruise.
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise's breakout hit.
There's
Yeah.
another one I've been thinking of. I know parts of 7 were shot here.
Yeah.
But
Really?
it was shot here in Seattle. It was shot in a few different cities. So you
What's in
never.
the box?
Yeah,
Right.
but it was shot in a few different cities, so you never figure out exactly where it's supposed to be set because
Yeah.
they never give the city that it's in.
Okay.
The newest, the Batman was shot here too.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
you know, it's super funny because like I was watching The Dark Knight with like a good friend of mine who went to go see the Batman with me. And I was like, you know, dude, here's the thing, because I'm a huge Batman fan. It's like, I love seeing Chicago in movies, but I'm really excited to see a Gotham City that's not just Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, they shot way more of this in the city than I thought they did. Like
They did, but there was a lot of like
Glasgow.
cool Gothic revival
There was
that
a
they
lot
did
of-
too, which was decent.
I know they
They-
shot a lot of it in
well.
Scotland. Yeah. No, they did it very well. Yeah, you're right.
Especially with Lower Wacker Drive with the
Batmobile
scene
chase.
where they were
Oh my
trying to-
God.
Yeah. And the reason it works is because originally, when you go back to like Bob Kane Batman and like the early Superman era, Metropolis is inspired by New York. Gotham was inspired by Chicago
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like the 1930s.
Yeah. Gotham was a nickname for Chicago, I think, back in the at the
A
time.
lot of yes.
So you see like the streamline aesthetic and like the
Yeah.
Gothic revival that
Yeah.
really like come up because of that. Because
Yeah.
the 30s and 40s.
Even though canonically it's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's like the worst
Yeah.
thing you can do to Chicago. Gotham City
Right.
is what would happen if you put Chicago in New Jersey. Now that you think about it, like that is actually is like a very. I think we should stop the movie discussion to get back to the hip hop of the hip hop podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's my stance there.
All right. Well, what I'll do then, we'll just go ahead and go through these singles. There's a couple more singles.
Yeah.
We have Redville, which is one of the newer artists that came out. Amazing album last year.
He's going to be on
he's
Scaring the
coming out
Host.
Yeah, he is going to be on that actually. He's coming out with a single for Gift Bag. Juice World came out with a single already out called The Light. I have not listened to it yet.
Yeah.
Mike Dimes featuring Dro Kenji, Kiss and Tell. The Freddie Gibbs music video to Zipper Bags dropped as well. And then I couldn't find the title, but I know IDK is coming out with something featuring Rich the Kid. So a lot of singles.
Doesn't
Beginning
I'm just looking at the doc here. Doesn't Rich the Kid have 2 D's at the end? Or is it
Possible.
1? I think
I
it's
don't know.
2. Either way.
This is an
Might be.
audience facing.
We know. You're getting a exclusive behind the scenes access.
Behind the scenes, BTS, not those BTS, or maybe they are. Who knows?
Look, when we blow up, we'll open up the Discord. But to the actual news, a lot of good news coming out.
Yeah, a lot of cool news, yeah.
Yeah, the Lala lineup is out.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts?
Pretty strong lineup. Like I would say.
I feel like what Purvis said in our group chat earlier this week is how I feel about it. No Frank, no me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I needed either Frank or Travis, even though I looked at it
And Kendrick.
Kendrick is going, and that's huge. But I just saw Kendrick.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the thing. That's the thing. For you saw Kendrick
Like,
less than a year
yes,
ago. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like that, and like that's the thing. I texted you was like, oh, this is not a good show for you because there's like
seen Pusha
5.
T.
You've seen Pusha
I've
T.
seen,
You saw JID
um,
2 days ago.
right. And I
You
saw
saw-
Kendrick.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see Joey Badass, Kendrick, and there was one other.
That
one.
is going not be worth saying.
I have questions.
There was Mobby as
There's
well.
only more 4 or 5 people I want to see. That's it.
I also do want to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I want to see Lil Yachty.
Oh yeah,
I'll
I
go
want to
see-
see Little Yachty. I want to see Red Hot Chili Peppers, and like, I've shout out Jeff. I might be able to get in with, some privileges, and if I can, like, if I'm not paying money for it, I might go see Billie Eilish just because I think she's a talented artist. Not
Yeah.
exactly my cup of tea, but
I don't understand the way they've decided who's headlining, because I can't imagine a world where Karol G and Tomorrow together are headlining when Lil Yachty and like Pusha T and JID are like this far in the list of just like artists attending. I don't understand how they decide that.
I would not take this as any kind of indication on like tiers. except for like the big names, just because like they get swapped around all the time when you go and got. Because I remember,
That's what
I remember
based off the numbers.
I think it's like a whole bunch of stuff that plays into it.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Yeah. Planning a festival is a whole fucking thing. But I remember last year, like Denzel Curry was like really far on the list, and then he played against the closer. So it's like it's. I don't think there's any bearing. You know,
it's kind of one of those things, and we talked about this last year, where like I just had to sit down and do research on Lala because like obviously coming into it, I have like a bias towards hip hop. I want to hear more hip hop, and like I feel like every year it's
and Lala's not a hip hop focused,
but it's not a hip hop exactly.
You know, I think like there are great hip hop shows there, but like you know,
but that's not like the main focus. It's just a category of
it. It's not Summer Smash. You know,
do you think maybe there are looking at the people that are coming?
I mean, traditionally, like we said, Lala is more of a rock festival.
Yeah, so like the pop, the EDM, and the hip hop, that's all kind of new. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers opened the first Lollapalooza back when they were like real.
Was it like 1999?
Something like that.
And they're still around.
Yeah, they're a touring band now. So it's like
it's.
So maybe they're trying to stick to the original structure, just throwing a couple people here and there, just to get extra people to buy tickets and come.
Yeah,
I mean that's why the 1975 is on there for sure, because they are like the core demographic of what Lala is or was originally.
Right.
Yeah,
and you got to think about it. As much as we joke about Lala, it is just a bunch of suburban kids coming to the city.
Yeah,
so
no,
that's something for them.
Clogging up my goddamn CTA.
Going to work, hating everything.
So then are we asking for too much?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. For how much tickets cost, I think not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Frank Ocean is a lofty goal. Like,
well, I guess when I say,
the fact that he's doing, you know.
Yeah, no, look. I'm not saying like you were like those are invalid. I'm just saying like it's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
Like,
well, when I say are we asking too much, I guess let me be a little bit more detailed. Are we asking for too much hip hop when it originally was supposed to be for hip hop?
I don't think
necessarily.
So.
I personally I don't have any analytics on this. Like, I don't know like what their most popular, what most people go to see. I don't think anyone besides like Perry has that. But you know, it just seems like their strategy was to inject some of the other more culturally relevant acts into Lollapalooza, right? So that's why you have like a lot of EDM. You know, there's always a huge EDM presence at Lala.
I'm about to say the whole Perry stage is built for EDM.
Yeah, which is ironically where I saw Denzel. You have.
I think what is important looking into it, there's over 100 names here. So even if we have 10, 15 artists, that's a good mixture of hip hop to be thrown into it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that I personally come across is how the lineup is set up per day.
Yeah.
Because like obviously as a consumer, I would want all of hip hop to be like on a Saturday and I just buy a 1 day ticket. But that isn't profitable as a business strategy.
That's by design, yeah.
Right.
It's also like going to be very hard managing all those artists' schedules, you know.
Very true.
You know, like we saw J. Cole on Saturday last year. He in Indianapolis on Friday. Like he literally could not have performed. Like, you know, so I think like that's by design, and you know, it's to drive you to the 4-day pass, which like is, you know, business 101. But the thing that's crazy is like, but the 4-day pass is cheaper than 2 1-days. Like, it's not.
Damn.
I think they realize at the same time, a lot of people not really gonna get the 4 day if it's hella expensive, you know.
But like, once again, it's like $300. It's expensive, but it's not like.
So I have the pricing here. It's $365 for base GA for 4 days.
Yeah.
GA Plus, which has dedicated like air conditioned lounge spaces and like an air conditioned restroom, is $700 for 4 days. VIP is $1,600 for 4 days, so it's $400 a day.
Yeah, but like, who gets that? Like, I always thought that was like a joke. Like,
you know,
people buy it. They sell out. I mean, I don't know.
People do.
When we went last year, we almost died, like just standing around. So I can imagine.
If you went once, you've you might consider it like, hey, I might want to pitch the extra dollar. Like literally today, I looked at cruise trips for 7 days. Norwegian Alaskan trip was $6.99 with flight included, 7 days on the cruise, and a special package for drinks.
That's good.
Look at the difference. Look at what you're spending.
Sure, yeah.
Supply and demand.
But like I don't know, like because me, I don't think I like divide it, right? Like if I went to 4 different concerts and I paid a total of $400, let's round it up because there's going to be fees. I know it's not Ticketmaster, so it's not obscene, but there are fees. So let's round up to 400. Even if, one, like I like to go for the festival itself. Like I like to go check it out. Like I kind of like to just
atmosphere of being.
I just like to be part of the heartbeat of the city. Like
it is dope.
But the other thing is that like $100 a day. I'm not gonna pay double for air conditions. That goes against I'm someone who used to sneak in through the back fence. I'm not. I have yet to buy a 4-day pass in my life. Like,
right.
No,
it's true. I've been multiple times and have not had to pay.
And the other thing is that like, it's kind of weird because like, I like the vibe of Lala, even though the criticism that like, it's just filled with like drunk suburban people. Accurate. That's not something you can go around. That is just the truth.
I haven't personally seen a Lala lineup I'd be willing to pay for to the prices they're asking since 2014, which is when they had Eminem, Outkast, and Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
which is like for me that's like, mwah.
Yeah, I mean,
it is.
Yeah, last year, especially if I had not seen him a year before, I would have if I had $375 to spend, I would have spent it for 4 days last year. Between Metallica, J. Cole, and Denzel Curry, that's
yeah.
I would have done 21 if it weren't for COVID.
Yeah.
COVID concerns.
Yeah.
Because Tyler for over an hour, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like,
and the other thing is that like I very much might just go one day. Like if there's any way I see Joey Badass, Kendrick, and like one other act in one day, I may just go one day.
You just go one day. It would just make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so yeah.
No follow.
Some other things. It'll be back.
Hey, right. We're going to talk about it too.
Yeah.
Some other things to cover. I'm personally excited about this. Jasper, I don't know if you've seen it. Crocs has a collab with Dreamville. I'm here for it, honestly.
Do you wear Crocs?
I learned to grow on the Crocs shoe brand.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I have something to show Brandon.
Okay. It's going to be something to piss him off. I just know it.
Is this Crocs? Crocs aren't going to piss me off.
You own a pair of Crocs? I doubt it.
I have the slides. My parents got it for me. They're pretty comfortable. I have better ones. So I prefer Adidas, but like they're good. I like them.
Yeah, the Dreamville ones are in stock right now. You can just buy them.
They're in stock right now?
Yep.
Why would you tell me that?
But they're not. Crocs are just the buddies you put in, right?
No, it's a colorway of a Croc, and then you get the gibbets with it. So it's like it comes with gibbets. But yes, Crocs, not all Crocs are created equal, all right?
All right, what do you got?
Lightning McQueen ones?
I have
you got the pair.
I have these, and I have the black pair of the Salehis. These are one of my go-to, just like indoor walking around shoes.
I tried twice to get them for my wife. They didn't go well.
Yeah, they've been tough to get until recently.
I have to do the.
I'm not offended by that.
Jasper, you might need to walk me through it, but I'm kind of scared. I think I need to put in like the boiling water to shrink it.
Wait, for which?
Those. I have the black pair of those, but it's like too big almost.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and shrink it, that sounds like a fun weekend project. We could do a little vlog for the nobodies behind the scenes.
We're gonna start doing vlog content. Me and Purvis were saying we're gonna start doing sketch comedy.
Oh my god,
that would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Me and Isaac will be fucking
Oh,
Key
I'm down for that.
Yeah, you put me and Isaac, we're gonna be fucking Key and Peele. Watch this shit.
I got it. I got it.
And I said, bitch.
I got you.
Absolutely not. I am not accepting this.
Purvis, I put a link to the Dreamville Crocs in the random
I'm looking
channel,
at it right now.
And we will be
So-
putting that in the episode description. Brought
do
to
with
you
that what you will.
by Dreamville Crocs. The neighbors
Imagine
think
getting sponsored with Draco.
selling Crocs.
Oh no, it was at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're already sold out. Although they're only $70. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all for a pair of Crocs.
That sold out pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
But I don't. Okay, I'm looking at a picture of it. I feel like they could did more.
Yes, they could have.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
I think they put most of it into the little things you throw in there.
Yeah.
But anywho,
Anywho,
some other big news. I just discovered this actually today. Coming out in about a week, Hulu and Spotify have collabed to make a project
what
about
is
rap
this?
caviar. This is something I actually threw in the Instagram chat, I believe.
I saw. I was at work.
No, it's fine. Essentially, what I've taken away from it so far, it is a new special coming out on Hulu on the 30th. It is supposed to be centered around a handful of artists. I did see the major one is Tyler the Creator, Jasper. I know you're happy. I believe Polo G was thrown in there. I saw Doja Cat. I saw Meg Thee Stallion. I saw Corey LeRoy. I think Polo G, if I didn't say that. It's just centered around, I guess, hip hop culture. Some of the recurring themes that did come up in the trailer is just based around stereotypes, to be honest. A lot of female hip hop artists face stereotypes of being too sexual. A lot of male artists stereotype or face stereotypes about being too violent. So it kind of talks about that and kind of goes throughout their, I guess, process of making music. So I'm excited for it. I don't know. Considering that it's rap caviar, which is meant to be very like radio generic music, I don't know how well the message will come across. But I'm excited to listen to it.
That sounds like
Yeah.
fun. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna watch.
Don't love that it is rap caviar for that exact reason, but at the same time, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, like I always thought the rap caviar playlist was bad. Like,
Yeah.
like people are always like, you don't listen to rap caviar. It's like, no, it's like they have like one JID song.
No, I like finding good music.
Yeah. It's like, please don't give. It's like I don't want the labels to pour stuff directly into my milk bowl. Thank you. That's for Zay. Like
I was gonna say, if
I was gonna
anything,
say-
rap caviar is the definition of just paying for it.
If I wanted labels and Spotify at large to pour things into my bowl, I would just put on "This Is Drake." But that's a discussion for another time.
Spotify and labels. What's
You do
the
that by choice.
difference?
One is Swedish.
You should look up who has ownership in Spotify.
No, I know.
Like,
You'd be surprised.
it's the labels.
A big stock in that.
Yeah.
But before we get into our topic, actually, we had something new that we wanted to bring on. Isaac,
So just want to run this by you guys real quick.
No.
Not like a little game, more like a questionnaire. It shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
So it's for you guys, Jasper, Purvis, and Brandon. I have picked out 3 artists for each of, one for each of you.
God boy.
But before I tap into those artists, I need each of you guys, to name one of your favorite artists. So Jasper, name one of your favorite artists besides Tyler.
Cuddy.
Cuddy, yeah. I'm about to say Cuddy.
All right. Purvis,
I can
name somebody besides Frank Ocean.
If I want to do besides Frank Ocean, I'm gonna do J. Cole. I'm just
Alright.
J. Cole.
Brandon, besides Run the Jewels.
Kendrick.
A group, person, doesn't matter.
Kendrick.
Okay,
Kendrick?
fair enough.
Yeah.
We all took very safe routes.
Yeah.
Now, I did name people specifically because names that you guys have mentioned so many times throughout the
Yeah,
podcast.
no, that's Run the Jewels is probably my favorite hip hop act. Like,
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll come back to the names that you guys mentioned. So let's start with Jasper. Let's go. I'm going to go back to Tyler. Name, what do you think by the time his career is over? What do you think for you personally, as of right now, his number one song is? And what do you think the media, the mass, the fans in general would say his number one song is? Will it match yours or will it be something different?
New Magic Wand for
It's
both.
your personal favorite?
Is that your personal?
I would say it's right up there. There are a couple that compete with that spot, but I think overall, yeah, New Magic Wand is going to be the one. It's either that or Lumberjack. But
Okay, so then will one of those meet the masses?
New Magic Wand, I think, is the one.
Okay,
It's the second most popular song.
Okay, cool. Look, I'm personally telling you, I'm kind of just getting into Tyler. I started getting into Tyler probably last fall.
Yeah.
I used to think he was too. What's the word I want to
Weird.
use?
It's too weird.
I used to think he was too weird for me personally.
that's valid. That's
feel-
valid.
Well, the thing is, he used to be, and then he
that's
became
it.
not that,
Yeah.
right?
The
Like,
thing
yeah.
was-
Weird in a cool way.
And-
In a cool way.
I don't know, man. Goblin,
Cool.
Goblin, I don't think is cool in any way.
Yeah,
It's
no, now he's weird in a cool way. Right?
Yeah,
like
I agree.
post Flower
Cool.
Boy, cool and weird,
Yeah.
cool, good
He's
way.
cool that
went
way
from
now.
I hit the
little-
beach in a furry hat. That's weird in a cool way.
No, I love that verse. I love that.
Yes, sir.
So what made me decide to finally start listening to Tyler was you make my heart break.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard
Earthquake.
I
I
love
was
that
like,
song.
Earthquake. I was like, you know what? I've been running from him. Let me listen.
It's a fun
Let
way
me
to put
listen.
it.
Tyler's he's then fell into my catalog now.
Yeah.
I've moved to his old stuff, his new stuff. I used to be like, you would never catch me listening to Tyler.
Yeah.
Now I do not mind Tyler at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Tyler part. So we'll stay with you, Jasper. Since you're missing Kid Cudi,
Mm-hmm.
what's your number one? What do you think people would say is his number one?
There are obviously two that everybody are gonna say, and it's gonna be between Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness. But
That would be the media for sure.
my number one, because I like both of those a lot, but there's a lot of other Cudi songs I really like.
Day and Night might be like my favorite all-time song. Like,
Yeah, it's
Day
a
and Night?
force. That
Day and
song is a force. It's like
That
what,
song
11
is
times
like-
platinum now or something?
there's like,
Okay.
oh my god,
He
there's
has a
like,
lot of songs you could pick.
I have
He has
like
a lot.
sediments of memories, like with that
Yeah,
song,
it's
right?
like- I'd have to like break it down by era of like what I like, because those two are just like so overwhelmingly up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with, honestly, I think I might have to go with Pursuit of Happiness, at least right now, just because I tend to trade off and I've listened to Day and Night a lot lately, so I just like,
Yeah.
one feels fresher when the other's more stale.
Gotcha.
Mine
But
is
they're both timeless. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. All right, Purvis. So Frank Ocean,
Jesus Christ.
number one to you, number one to the masses.
oh, I'm excited for this take.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a good take.
That is
We should play this game at least every other week. This is a good game.
White
So my
Ferrari.
I'll say this. My favorite Frank Ocean songs for me personally is Pyramids.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
fuck.
Dude,
That's-
what?
that's
You
because-
literally named my two
Right.
favorite and Nights. I'm sorry, I love Nights.
That's what I said. There's a lot you could pick from.
Yeah. But I feel like his most popular is kind of like an easy answer.
Is it?
Oh, I think
Right.
so. I think his most popular is probably an easy
He
There's
answer.
a couple more.
When you look at the
He's
numbers,
a very
you
popular
look at-
artist, but I feel
Yeah.
like if you
Well,
add,
technically, he's not the most popular. Weekend just made the most popular
Yeah.
according to Guinness World Record this week.
okay, he
Blinding-
does have a
Blinding
world
Lights.
fucking record. Who cares? Like,
Personally, because I gotta think about just me now. I'm gonna do Pilot Jones for myself, believe it or not.
that's a good
That's
one.
the
It's a good
choice.
take.
I listened to that today.
That's so I'm not like jumping in on board with everyone else.
Uh,
I think his biggest song is "Thinking About You."
That's what I had to say. It had.
That's
No,
When I
no,
said-
seriously,
When I
I would have said Lost.
Lost is
I've done
I feel like
both at
Lost has-
karaoke.
it's a lot.
Guess
feel like
which one
Lost
people
has-
sing along to?
Eclipsed it, just like in terms of like listening.
Maybe in our bubble, because I
Possibly.
like Lost more than Thinking About You.
I do like Lost.
I think it's a better song. Like full disclosure.
Before Vine died, and with TikTok,
A
how many
potato
people-
flew around.
Yeah, how many people put a string to their potato in their fan?
Yeah.
It is Thinking About You. And
Yeah,
and
it's gotta be
second,
Thinking
it's
About
probably Nights, to be honest, because
Yeah.
everyone knows that transition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I would put Nikes over that.
Ooh,
Over
In
Nights.
terms of iconic moments for me, like when I hear a Frank song,
okay,
just
for
the
you.
just the opening to Nikes is like
Yeah.
it
no,
hits.
It hits.
And then
really
that
hard.
super slow, the bass and the snare coming in, and then
Did
the chipmunk voice.
Jess,
Definitely.
did you ever see the TV show version of High Fidelity with Zoe Saldana?
No, I didn't, but I'm
Kravitz?
familiar with it. Yeah,
So she works. The whole premise, High Fidelity, was a book, and then it was a movie, and then it was a TV
Yeah.
show, and they all
Yeah.
are about a character who works at a record store, but they all take place in different cities.
I know the movie with the John
the book
Cusack.
is
Yeah,
in London. Movies in Chicago. This one's about New York, and there's an episode where she gets done with a night out at the bar, and she goes to walk
Mhm.
home, and she puts in her headphones, and it's just that Nikes beginning, and it's like
No,
it just
it's impactful,
it
man.
hits because like
That's dope.
that's where I start the. I don't know
That's
if
what-
I would personally put Nikes above Knights, but I don't think it's a wild take at all. I think it's a
so-
very reasonable take.
The last big public show Frank ever did in 2017, he closed with Nikes.
But wouldn't you say that like doesn't matter because most people exist with it in the form of the recorded music?
Maybe, but I just think I think he values it in a way where it's like it has some weight in his discography, and I resonate with that.
Personally, yeah. For him personally, because when my last daughter was born, I still have to take my phone to Snapchat video, a picture of her, and all you hear is, "Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
so
great song.
yeah, for me it's like Nike's hits, and then also White Ferrari. I would say also
Yeah.
over.
White Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah,
White Ferrari is also like White Ferrari
Oh,
and Pyramids are like his best songs.
yeah.
Well,
White
let's see,
Ferrari
you want
is
me
so
to-
good.
Oh, nice. I'll list all the songs or do you want?
All right,
uh,
run the jewels to
I-
you.
Okay, so my song, this one's easy for me. My
Personally.
song is Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck.
Okay,
It just
enough.
it goes so hard. It is one of my favorite live music memories. It's has a really impactful music video that I don't watch very often because it's very powerful. So I think it's just like, head to nuts, amazing song. But their most popular by far has to be Legend Has It.
really?
okay.
That's what I think. Just because it was in the Black Panther trailer. And then that
That is-
song had like a whole, so like it blew up like when it came out. I remember because like the video for it came out 2 months after the album came out, and it was incredible. And the next day, Kendrick out of nowhere dropped the Humble video, and I was like, "God damn it! Now no one's gonna talk about this." Run the
You
Jewels
can't
thing."
let me have this.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is this for Black Panther 1?
Black Panther 1, yes.
Yeah.
Were there multiple trailers? Because the one that
Yes.
I remember was the one with Bag Back, the Vince Staples song.
Yes, there was multiple trailers.
There was a couple of trailers.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
I don't know if I saw that one. I just
Each-
remember the Bag Back one.
No, the Bag Back one was the teaser trailer, was the first one.
Yeah.
The first like real trailer had Legend Has It in it.
Okay.
And I remember it blew back up because like there's like a very famous video of a bunch of like kids in a school dancing because they got tickets to Black Panther and they're dancing to that song.
It wasn't on the actual Black Panther album.
No, it was just
No.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I remember it got a whole new thing. I think that's probably their most popular song, but I have no idea what the most popular song by Stream would be.
I think it would be Nobody Speak.
I'm not counting that one because it's by DJ Shadow, not Run the Jewels.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I mean,
Legend
it's
Has It is the most plays
Yeah.
at 85
Yeah. I look, okay, this is my favorite hip hop act. If the beat's not produced by LP, I don't.
That's
count
fair. That is fair.
It's the lyric. We've talked about this.
It's one of the greatest. Has there been a better lyric hyping up the producer on a song?
I gotta think about it.
Yeah, like producer gave me a beat. The beat of the year. I said LP didn't make it. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah,
that is the part. That is the part.
Okay, I feel like you screwed yourself by mentioning Kendrick. That's just me personally.
Kendrick is going to be hard for me to come up with my personal, but I think I know what his most popular is, but I have no idea.
I think I know what his most popular is too.
I think I have an idea.
That's easy, actually.
I don't think it's
well, you gotta think. What is the most commercialized album?
Yeah, that's where my mind is going. That's my my thing is I'm caught up in my own biases because I was there. I was in the trenches when Swimming Pools came out. I turned 21 when that song was like in the bars.
We got the numbers up though.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Okay, so my favorite, that's the one I think is most popular. I'm gonna say DNA.
That's a good option.
Okay. What do you think if this was one of them garbage ass award shows that come on TV?
If I could give,
what would be the number one option they would pick?
It's so hard. It's so hard.
You just said it earlier.
It's not that hard.
No.
You just
my left stroke just went viral.
Humble has double the amount of
Humble
players.
It's not close.
Really?
It's not
yeah,
close,
Humble
bro.
is murdering it.
Yeah.
Almost 2 billion.
Humble is, I think it's the seven most streamed hip hop song of all time, or something like that. Yeah, there's a list of them. The number one is like Rockstar, Post Malone, 21 Savage, and then it like goes through like all this pop shit, and then it's Kendrick, Humble.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still thinking about what my favorite one is,
bro,
and I'm gonna.
That's impossible. High power. Like if we go all the way back,
I'm saying
there's so many.
Mortal Man.
The art of peer pressure.
Mortal Man. When
shit
shit hits the fan, will you be a fan?
I'll give you Mortal Man.
Mortal Man is the greatest closing track of all time, and anyone who wants to come to me.
What about Levitate? Man, there's a lot.
But, okay, I'm gonna have maybe an arguable take. I've been a Kendrick fan since he was dropping music videos on YouTube before any of his CDs dropped out.
If this is what I think it is, we're just gonna move past it because I'm so tired of this take.
Wait, what take is it?
My take is Kendrick wasn't popular until Damn came out.
Okay.
No, Good Kid, Mad City was everywhere.
Wait, I'm talking about for everyone.
Dude, dude, I was
music listeners.
Dude, I was in bars in white America on U of I in the suburbs. I was in the trenches when Good Kid, Mad City was out.
Jasper,
bitch, don't kill my vibe.
I will settle this debate for you. Allow me.
They appreciate.
I reject your authority.
Allow me to contribute something here. All right.
Revolution now. Like, what's going on?
Good Kid, Mad City came out in...
Jasper, before you answer, I'm talking about when the CDs dropped, not now.
I know. Good Kid, Mad City came out in 2012, right?
Right.
Yes.
I was 15.
I love the album now, but I'm talking about...
No. I was 15. My neighbor Tyler, who is whiter than me, comes over to me and says, "Hey, look at this." And it's Good Kid, Mad City in 2012.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I was everywhere.
This is why I asked.
And it was the deluxe edition with the fold-out CD with the double. Yeah. That shit was popping. That shit was popping then, and it's popping now.
I have the vinyl in my closet.
Poetic justice.
I said Kendrick as a whole. Because
don't kill my vibe.
Because he not only had Good Kid, Mad City, he had the feature on fucking Problems. He was a star. He was already doing SNL appearances.
I get that. The only reason why I said that, and Jasper, by all means, you are the resident here. I can't go against anything you say. But I guess, okay, so even though Purvis and I are kind of like, are very different. I grew up more in the city than he did.
Yeah.
So when we moved into a very suburban, not many of us over their neighborhood,
River Forest.
I feel like at the time that this dropped, people didn't have a true appreciation of Kendrick.
It
That's
may
fair.
not have
Like we did
appreciation,
now.
but they were listening.
Or
I
they
could- I
only
could
knew
see
the
that.
hot songs. Did they listen to the whole CD?
I knew so many people who listened to this whole album. Like,
What's
it's
the hot
like,
take?
yeah.
It's tough
Wait,
because
hold on.
they take that
So,
approach.
real quick, what is the age difference between you two, Brandon and Isaac?
8 years. 8 years.
Okay.
No.
So that's
it's
why
8 years between those two. I'm right in
The
the
bi-
middle of them. I'm
You're
4
right.
Oh, okay.
years
All right.
older
That's what
than,
I was curious about.
I'm 4 years
You
older
see-
than Purvis and 4 years younger than Isaac.
And see,
Got
that might be the issue because maybe I'm thinking about people in my age group.
Yeah, because I was 21 at the time. I was like,
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
demographically it was a shift because when I was 15, Good Kid, Mad City was everywhere.
Okay, and see, maybe that's the difference because with me being older, and I hate to say the difference between black and white, whatever the case might be, it was just like people who's in my age group, black people knew who he was. Non-black was just like, we know the hot song. Oh yeah, bitch don't kill my vibe. Did you listen to the whole album? No, not really. Cause like, okay, bitch don't kill me vibe, Poetic Justice,
Money trees.
Money Tree.
And I
Money Trees, but other than that,
Swimming
of course, swimming pools. So everybody was swimming. But besides that, when I asked other people, they was just like, "Oh, I don't really know what that song was."
Yeah,
So
that
maybe
was
I'm
just-
showing my age.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not that. I think there is value to what you're saying because obviously there's going to be certain songs that just aren't played like that.
yeah.
But if you take that approach, you got to take that approach with everyone.
That's true.
People didn't listen to J. Cole. People didn't even listen to all the
That's
Drake
true.
music.
That
I
is
think
100%.
anybody
I
I think
actually-
anybody who was of like the formative age of like early 20s when it was the like height of the bling era
Yeah.
didn't catch on to Kendrick at the start because it was something that was very different and very new and they were so dug into a certain musical style and a certain
Yeah.
sound.
No,
That's
that's totally valid.
But you better believe I was on a bus with a whole bunch of white people playing
I believe
soccer,
it. I believe it.
banging.
Well,
to
when you're in high school, you're almost exposed to all the music.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you three ever watched the actual Key and Peele show aside from like the skits?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that one where it's like when people run, they do that bit in front of the audience where it's like when people run into them on the street and it's
Yeah.
like their age determines how they like resonate. It's like young kids like versus like adults being like, I see what you're doing there. Don't forget where you like that whole kind of thing. I feel like that's
Yeah.
old heads. That's old heads to Kendrick. Like
Yeah.
it's that
Okay.
kind of relationship.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
It's like you're doing a lot, but don't forget it's like all these people paved the way for you. That
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. All right. We just noticed we skipped Purvis when he's
J.
with J. Cole.
Yeah. Oh, DJ Cole.
Um,
DJ Cole.
J. Cole, you personally, J. Cole, if you're giving an award,
If I'm doing it personally, it's going
Purvis,
to be
what's
nobody's perfect. It's going to be nobody's perfect.
Okay.
For me personally,
Okay.
I'm going all the way back to Nobody's Perfect.
Okay.
Nobody's Perfect resonated with me since day one. It's one of the few songs that I could actually be like, nah, I was with the artist from the beginning.
Yeah.
And the chorus that comes in, amazing. I know Brandon's his neighbors.
Good neighbors. One of the best.
So I know he wanted me to say that. I think obviously
Yeah. No, I think his most popular is obvious.
first things first, recipes Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
That's number one. It's not even close. No role models. Takes over. Everyone knows
Yeah.
at least the introduction.
No,
So,
yeah, no.
no role models.
my very first concert that my wife blessed me with was Forest Hill Drive. That was the first concert I ever went to.
What an introduction.
Yeah.
That was
what a concert.
and one of my, I think my top 3 J. Cole songs may not even be a song. It's the intro for Forest Hill Drive. It's technically not even a song. There's been times, and it's so short, I literally would turn that on. I could be sitting in the dark. I could be in my car. I can be on my bike like how he was in the music video for it. It's something about that intro that just takes me to another world.
I will say
No.
that entire theory spans across Forest Hill Drive because there hasn't been one time I haven't listened to all the notes itself. It is 14 minutes of him just shouting out people. And I sit there for 14 minutes and listening to him shout out people I don't know.
And he'll,
That's just the vibe.
yes,
He just sit there and chill.
and he'll turn around and be like, "Oh, you know what? I was just playing. It had nothing to do with it." But shout out to whoever
it's like 10 minutes in. He was like, "Shout out to the people still listening to me do this," and I'm still sitting there just like,
It's like, that's
Go ahead.
me.
Speak your truth, King.
I'm the one still listening. That's
He gave
me.
a specific name, and I was just like, he had nothing to do with this album. Was he on this album? And he was like, no, I'm just playing.
Right.
He wasn't even on the
He
album.
said some celebrity, and I was like,
Who was it?
but that the whole theory spans across the entire album, or just like that. I'll listen to "Hello" is such a mellow, low key song. I'll just throw on "Hello" and just chills.
Yeah.
So
Super bad.
Like,
who was the actress in Super bad?
Jonah Hill and Michael
Jonah
Cera.
Hill, Michael Cera, and
Yeah,
then, like,
that's who he shout out.
Jonah Hill, it's like he wasn't even.
Dude, that movie's so good. I love
Well, I
Superman.
hope you guys enjoyed this segment.
That's it. Isaac, write down the rules of this game. We're gonna keep this. This is a good.
I literally already put it in the
Yeah,
doc.
no, this is a good segment. I like this. And also, real talk, that took us 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more.
Oh no,
That was-
Perfect, not too long.
Yeah, that was not too long. So, seeing as we're going well on time,
yes.
shall we
Jump right
talk
into it.
Smid or JID Smino? I'm trying to combine.
I like Smid. I like Smid.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I made the awful decision to wear the merch shirt today, not because like I wanted to, but because it was out and I slept through my
Hold
alarm
on,
again.
we have merch.
Right.
We have merch. I brought my wife.
I have the hoodie. She has the shirt.
Hey,
Not so much.
Yeah, no, I sweated through mine at work today. It was a happy hour. But so many people at work was like, "Were you at the show?" And this account person, this girl, was like, "Oh, I saw you going down the stairs," and I'm like, "I didn't. I was drunk. like, I don't."
You did not see me.
Like if you see me at a hip hop show, no, you didn't. Don't bring it up to work. Like,
hey,
That is literally how we got to meet each other.
yeah, like
Like we didn't see each other.
it's like I just called off of work. Like,
I won't say the name of the manager. He was like, "She thinks I'm in Wisconsin right now." I'm like, "All right, bro."
be like, yeah, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go squeeze some cow titties.
But amazing show.
Yeah.
Everything, in my opinion, was phenomenal. Even though I don't remember all of it,
it's about the
what do you-
experience, right?
it's about the experience. What do you guys think about the venue, the stage presence, just in general, the atmosphere?
The Argon's
We've
my
been to
favorite
Argonne.
venue. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
Argon's my
That was the
favorite
first
venue.
time for me being at Argonne.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I've been to Metro, different places,
I've
but
seen
never Argonne.
I've seen so many shows at the Argonne. It is,
Did you guys know that their ceiling was redone?
Yeah,
yeah.
Recently,
I had no idea. So after
Yeah.
the concert, I stopped at a bar. One of the bartenders that worked there that I'm really cool with, she was like, "Oh, where'd you go?" I went to the concert. She was like, "Oh, that's my favorite venue. It's messed up that the roof got messed up." And I'm sitting there like, "The roof got messed up?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
used
because
to
it
be like-
looked gorgeous. Yeah, it looks like.
yeah, it looked
It
great.
looked-
So
Yeah. So yeah.
So
So
I wonder what she was referring to.
she
Because
said
it's always been like
she
that.
said she didn't say what was up there.
Oh,
She had just said that it was damaged and that it was redone.
so there was a part near the top where it had cracked and that like part of it had collapsed or something. I think it was like during
Wow.
COVID,
Yeah.
wow.
but they
Yes.
redid it like
That's
that
it.
part.
Yeah,
or
that's what she
something.
said.
I think that's what it was.
She said that was not their original ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it looked
It looked dope.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked
I-
great.
Yeah,
This is my
I think-
first time being back since COVID.
it's
I don't think I've
it's
been
a
there, so-
super it's a super beautiful venue. It's just like I feel like it's very hit or miss acoustically, and it really depends on who you're seeing.
Okay.
I feel like rap shows are really good for it, and I feel like a lot of more like rock shows acoustically just are not as good because that space it has a lot of hard surfaces and a lot of echo. So it's like
Yeah.
bounces everywhere.
you get some distortion if it's because like I think my dad went and saw Arctic Monkeys there and I was like, what'd you think? And he's like, I think it was Arctic Monkeys. He's like, I hated it. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it sounded muddy the whole time. I was like, yeah, well, it's like a big reverberating room.
I mean,
But
I saw Rise Against there like 2 or 3 times, and they sounded
it was decent.
fantastic.
yeah, maybe it's just his
but, like-
what he assumes it to sound like.
But I can
yeah.
100% like no, that makes sense just considering like how sound works and the layout of the
Yeah,
building.
it is
I just
basically.
know
a-
like I've seen rock artists there. I haven't had that issue.
I mean,
Right.
that's where we saw Cuddy, and
Yeah, he
by
sounded
God,
great.
that's the best show I've ever seen to this day.
Yeah, No, that was a really, really good Cuddy show. I've never seen a bad show there. You know.
Yeah.
We went there for The dope thing that I
Brockhampton
liked
twice.
about Oregon,
Yeah.
we went there for Brockhampton twice. The first time my ACO was torn at the time, we got a full balcony seat. So like the fact that they're accommodating for people in that aspect, like there's bars everywhere, even though it's very expensive. Like everything is for
Isaac's face, I'm fucking dead. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. So I bought my wife and I a drink.
Yeah.
It was expensive.
And one was a Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
The other one was,
I already know what you're gonna say. It was like $44 or some shit.
no. It was Jack and Coke, a Hennessy and lemonade. The lady
Yeah.
was like, "Do you want a double?" Oh yeah, fuck it, give me a double.
Oh, $36 for the double alone, right?
$7
For both, yeah.
and then I left the 15% tip. Shit.
Yeah, no, that's why we drank a bottle of Jack Daniels before we got there.
We got drunk before we got there too.
Big
You were
brain plays.
driving. Like,
My wife and I are. We have a very high tolerance.
oh yeah, I don't.
So
So
we
much for
were
alcohol.
drinking before we came, and then we got there. It was like, "Fuck it, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
You want another drink? I'll buy one." Those were the only two drinks I bought the rest of the night.
No, yeah,
It was over with.
Yeah,
It was more expensive than when we went to see Push, which was wild to me
Yeah.
because that venue's like in I think a more poppin' area for like music and culture and everything else.
the
The
South
Push
Side.
Team or the
Yeah, when we went to
Radius.
what is it? Radius. Yeah, because Radius is like right near like Pilsen, and it's like the intersection of like Pilsen and Bridgeport and all that shit.
It's kind of far from Pilsen, but it's close to Bridgeport and Chinatown.
Well, it's just like east of it, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah,
that
but
much
there's
further.
I think there's a couple neighborhoods between it.
I need to look at a map.
I could be wrong, but
I heard that venue was very expensive though, because a friend of ours that produces music, he goes there sometimes because I didn't know they just was like an open bar sometimes and just to hang out. He was telling me how expensive it is to go there.
So when I got a Jack and Coke, it was $18 there.
at Radius.
which
Yeah,
was far better than
it's better than Aragon.
Yeah.
I'm used to dive bars, so
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
don't.
so
The only place I've ever gotten
that was the first time.
cheap, the cheapest drinks I've ever gotten at a concert, believe it or not, Lollapalooza by a huge margin.
I have news for you. Radius is half a block away from the eastern border of Pilsen.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's right over
Pilsen
there.
extends from the highway, so basically Union and Cermak, west out to Ashland.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It stretches out a lot.
Yeah,
It stretches out a lot.
I just feel like Uptown, with Aragon and the Riviera right across the street, there's a bunch of venues all right there.
True.
I would not say it's like so obvious which one is the bigger area. Radius is
I
just
think
a
of like
newer venue.
that's what I think of is like how the West Loop and the South Loop and like all of that has started to build up and get very expensive, and how that's like starting to trickle out into the other like the areas around it. That's what I think of like expensive with.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it was a nice little penny.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Brandon and I finished the bottle by ourselves, which is explaining
And then
our
we
state.
had one drink at the show, and
And
we
we
were
had
great.
one drink.
I was fine. Like,
That's all I needed. That one drink, I'm pretty sure I got like 3/4 to it, and I dropped it.
and
at
like
some
I
point.
know you can't eat bread, but like I don't know how you do like liquor, because like when I go there, I like to have like a buzz, and then like I just want a beer to keep my mouth wet. Like I don't need to get any drunker.
I was just
Like,
gonna sip on it if anything.
Yeah,
I can't do beer.
Yeah. Also, I hate the taste.
I can't do beer.
I didn't like the beer they had, but like you pour me up an old style, it's like water. It's so good.
Like water.
I call them Wrigley waters because I'm a degenerate.
Jesus,
That's-
that is the whitest, most Wrigleyville thing I've heard in my
I call them
life.
Wrigley waters.
God,
I was literally about to say, not to sound, stereotypical, but we're black. We like black drinks. Give us cognac, whiskey, whatever the
I
case
drink
might
whiskey.
be.
I have a better
I
taste
love
of whiskey than Purvis.
I wouldn't consider whiskey to be a black drink though.
Depends on whiskey.
Depends on the whiskey and the age.
Bourbon
That's
more
all.
than anything else. Bourbon.
Eh.
Because I feel like once you hit 30 and up,
Well,
you start to lean more towards whiskey because cognac is really high in sugar.
It's very
Yeah.
sweet.
Cognac is like the black wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going through the same process.
right.
Yeah.
I had a screwball the other day for the first time in a long time.
How was that? Thoughts?
That shit hits.
Screwballs
I
are
like
good.
I like peanut butter. I'm like a dog. I'm just like, give me that
the
shit.
screwball.
There you go.
The shots.
Oh God, we they were a client at my old agency, and when we won them, they had like a line of shots.
Yeah.
And it was two. It was the screwball and then a shot of jelly.
I'm about to say, they do have
That's hot.
a jelly
It was
shot.
good. I would never
Yeah.
drink screwball again because I just thought I drink. I don't drink a lot of bourbon.
I am a degenerate.
Yeah, but like I like good bourbon. Like I gave Purvis Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare. Like Uncle Nearest is pretty decent. Yeah.
Demonetized. Immediately demonetized. Showing alcohol.
Also,
can we show this?
Also,
Yeah,
fun fact.
Sponsor.
I was on Hulu. Potential sponsor? Who knows? They have a documentary about like the brewing of bourbon in America. And you'd be shocked that like most of the head brewmasters, most of them are black. Like it's like I know it's not a drink you associate with like black drinkers, but like a huge black influence in the craft of it.
So that's how Uncle Nearest came forth, because Uncle Nearest is who came up with Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah, he was a slave. Yeah. I had an old creative director, Aubrey. If you're listening to this, Aubrey, you're very cool. Please hire me. If you've seen any of the new Burger King work, he's doing that. Like the
Whopper song.
Yeah,
no!
Come on,
promote that man.
And we were when we worked at FCB together, we were like, oh, we're gonna do something for Jack Daniels, like calling into like that legacy of it. Yeah.
Can I tell you all something that's probably gonna make you laugh?
Oh, go ahead.
I really, really like Hennessy.
Oh, but there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I know. It's just funny because like my introduction. So my introduction to Hennessy was being the only white guy at a 50+ person event for my buddy Chris, who has like a photography studio. Shout out my boy Chris. It was like a photo party because he's like a photographer. Yeah. I was the only white guy there, only white person there. Everybody else was varying shades of whatever else. And like this girl came up to me, she's like, "Hey, do you feel weird?" I was like, "Why?" And I didn't even notice. And she's like, being the only like white person here, and I was like, "Oh well."
You didn't even notice.
No, that's my boy Chris over there.
I walk in, who's black?
No, that's what we do. That's what we do.
When I walk in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like my thing was like, no, that's my boy Chris over there, whatever. And like the drinks were like literally a bottle yay big, and I was like, all right, it was like this, and let me get like some orange juice.
Yeah.
Orange juice? All right, let me.
I think it was orange juice. I don't even remember, to be honest. It might have been like.
I have a fun Hennessy story too.
I don't remember what it was. It was either that or like some kind of like, maybe it was like cranberry juice or something. I don't know.
Okay.
No, actually, it definitely wasn't that. I just don't remember what it was.
You're gonna give me some.
I'm gonna put you on.
No, they had So listen, they had Coke and they had there was a juice. I think it might have been orange juice.
Okay, I'll say this. So cranberry juice and Coke, I feel like is overused in our community.
Fair.
People always argue, oh, cognac, you're supposed to drink it pure by itself. Get you a splash of lemonade or a splash of ginger ale.
Ooh, lemonade.
Ginger ale, lemonade, a splash, not too much. It'll set you right.
Yeah, I love a good splash of lemonade in a bourbon. It's
and if you like Hennessy, don't get regular Remy. Get 1738.
Yeah, we know.
Hey,
like the Migos said,
that was
1738.
Put them on all the secrets.
Are we gonna talk about?
Barbecue?
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
Right.
Are we gonna talk about that meme I sent you both earlier today?
No.
Shout out fucking what's his name? Oh my god.
Fetty Wap?
No. What the hell was it?
I mean Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, shout out Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Jerry Seinfeld can come to the barbecue.
Oh my god.
I cannot.
My favorite thing ever was there was this post, it was this video, right? And it was 3 comedians discussing can white comedians say the N-word. It was Jerry Seinfeld, Louis C.K., the annoying British guy, and Chris Rock, right?
Annoying British guy.
The guy who was on the original Office.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. The horribly unfunny guy. So it's those three. And Ricky Gervais, Louis C.K., and Chris Rock are all saying, no, it's like, no, like you can say the N-word if it's really, really funny. Like a white guy can say the N-word if it's really, really funny. And Jerry Seinfeld is just there steadfast, like, no. Like he looks Chris Rock in the face and says, I don't care that you're black. No. Like and then no, this is the setup. The punchline is someone then commented under that video, that picture you sent. And it was like Jerry Seinfeld dropping off his high school girlfriend and not saying the N-word. And I'm like, Jesus.
So the take that I like on that one is the Donald Glover weirdo take of like the only white person who's allowed to say the N-word is Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he called his ex-wife the N-word. Charlie Sheen is white. His ex-wife is white.
Yeah.
They just completely removed the racial context from it. Just like, listen here, you.
You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked how many white people call other white people that word.
He was technically using the Webster definition, which means ignorant. Ignorant. So, to his defense, he probably had too much tiger blood that day.
Okay, so what was our favorite JID song, everybody? Like, what was our favorite JID song? Jesus Christ.
I was about to take us.
Well, we was trying to figure out who was coming out first.
Yeah, and I was wrong. I was wrong a lot about this show.
If you want to get a crowd excited, you bring JID out first.
Yeah, because he has more energy. I just thought, and I think this holds water. I thought Stick would have been like, because I knew what the closers were going to be. I knew JID closed with Stick. Right. And like, I didn't know in the same way because I hadn't seen it on social, but like I knew Smino was going to close with Noel's. So it was like, look, I love both those songs. I loved both their sets. But I'm like, Stick is how you end the night, right? Like that was my reverse.
He was actually.
I'm like, how do you remember what order the songs came in?
I remember most of them, and then I had to look up.
Okay,
like, the actual.
You could look them up. You could look up set lists online.
Yeah, all right, cool.
People are weird.
But like, we had Jordan Ward open up as the actual opener. Shout out to them.
That I don't remember. Like,
no,
I remember that there was an opener. That I don't remember.
It's the first thing we saw.
He definitely did.
Everything else I remember pretty well, but like that's like.
Was it? Someone said someone was actually out there before him.
If so, we did not make it.
Yeah, when we came in, Jordan was up.
When we came in, he was halfway through his set. I recorded the "Okay" song. That's my favorite song by him. And I put on my story, and he actually liked it, which was super dope. And he told all the people, like, at any point in the show, I'm going to be down by the merch stand if you want to come.
That's super cool. Yeah,
super dope.
I love it when artists do that. The band Games We Play, they did that at the Fall Out Boy show. They were at the merch tent talking to people.
That's what I don't know if any of you know Mystery Skulls, but that's how I met Mystery Skulls. Was through that. Yeah.
I mean,
super cool.
Please tell me they're like a power metal band.
They are like he is a one guy is like a super cool like synth pop guy actually.
Ooh, send it to me. That sounds like music I'd actually like.
I might actually have one of those be my recommended for this week.
I was thinking it would be like Dragon Force.
You've probably heard it, to be honest. He's been pretty popular for a while.
I might have, yeah.
I mean, in terms of the performance, was there a certain song that stuck out or a certain thing that stuck out that they did?
Man, surround sound hit.
Surround sound hit. Dude, I thought Radar went off.
Oh, well, that song is fire. I wasn't there, though. Yeah. I didn't get there till like halfway through.
My favorite thing is, like, there's been the conspiracy theory going around about how Radar was originally supposed to be called Thanos.
Yeah. If you look at the lyrics.
Yeah, if you look at the lyrics. And, like, at the show, he had the gauntlet.
Right up the gauntlet,
yeah. He was holding, and I'm, like, wondering, is this him confirming the theory? Like.
You have to see it live.
Yeah. And, like, as a massive comic book fan, the fact that, like, Thanos and the Infinity Gems are now so culturally ubiquitous that they are in multiple rappers' songs. Like, that feels good.
It's the new Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Actually, I was about to say, just in general, superheroes have always kind of been within the kind of.
Ever since Wu-Tang.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you feel like? How do you feel when artists, when they have concerts, they stick to all their current stuff, or they tap into some of their old stuff? Because this is my first time seeing JID at a concert. It would have been dope if I would have heard a few things from maybe DiCaprio 1, even though
way back.
I mean, I feel like, to me personally, if I was an artist, I would DiCaprio 1 isn't even on Spotify.
Yeah.
If I was an artist, a part of me would just be like, hey, for my day ones, let me really, really go back in my bag.
I mean, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it depends on the tour.
That's something I feel super strongly about, because there have been multiple shows now where I've seen artists who I've like been very excited for them to do something prior, and they haven't, and I've actually been like upset about it. I'm like, when Gambino, I love Gambino. I gotta say, I think the Wake of My Love tour left a little bit to be desired, because
I've heard that from other people.
It was short. It was really short. He was on stage for like 50, maybe 45 minutes, like 45, 50 minutes.
That's crazy. And
he did like what, like 6 or 7 songs off of Awaken My Love. He did, God, what did he do? He did World Star.
2005.
He did well, sort of. He did like a 3005 medley, and then he did Sweatpants, and that was like the banger. But he didn't do anything from Camp. He didn't do anything from EP.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not going to play Bonfire to Sold Out United Center? What is this?
And that's the thing. When you're not in a small venue, you're in a huge venue.
Yeah.
Maybe just one. I'm not asking for a bunch. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
And then another one that kind of pissed me off was Playboi Carti. He did his Whole Lotta Red tour, and it went fucking hard. He did every hit off of Whole Lotta Red pretty much, and then some. He did Control, which I really like. He did like Feel Like Dying, which I really like more low key. But he didn't go back at all.
You want to hear Playboi Carti? You want it?
He didn't do anything with a feature. So he didn't do Metamorphosis. He didn't do Shuda. He didn't do anything off of Die Lit at all. He didn't do Magnolia. Nothing. Just exclusively Whole Lotta Red. Which I love that album. But I was hoping to hear some of that early shit. I wanted to hear Shuda live so badly.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's why when we saw Pusha T and he did Numbers on the Board, I was like, yeah.
Pusha T killed it. Pusha T did a lot of his other stuff.
To circle back to the Lala thing, that's why it's like I cannot get excited to see Pusha T, because it's like he did like a scorched earth set. It's like, what song?
What's
left?
The only way it's better is if he brings out Tyler and does Trouble on My Mind. That's that's all that's left.
Yeah, like,
that's a beauty. Right.
Yeah, look, I'll see him again once there's a new album out, but and who knows? By then there might be, because he said he's dropping that tape, so who knows? But
I mean, I feel like there's wasted potential sometimes with these set lists.
Well, I mean, like, I'm famously not missing a J. Cole show until I see him do Neighbors. Like, I'm not missing him until.
And I will be there with you.
And what's interesting is, like, when I saw Childish, I saw him at Lala. He was on for like hour 20, like a pretty long set, and still nothing from EP, nothing from Camp. I think it's for the best. I think Bonfire does not hold up. Like.
But the sheer hype of that song for like a concert setting.
I think if he's gonna do one song from Camp, it should have been Heartbeat, because that song holds up.
Oh well, sure, yeah. I mean, that's,
like there's but like he did a lot more from Because of the Internet than it sounds like, because he did the full 3005. He did Telegraph Ave. He did Sweatpants.
He did not do Telegraph Ave when I saw him. He also didn't do
Kawhi.
He didn't do anything off of Kawhi either. He could have done like, I don't know, Sober.
Dude,
that would have been insane.
When he did Sober, it was the greatest thing. I was so with my friend Mary, and I was like, just.
So when you mentioned Cole earlier, he did an interview, and I'm trying to see if the comment he made.
There's a reason
it ties into the all artists. A lot of them say once they drop their next album and they keep going, a lot of lyrics start to blur and merge in and become confusing, where it's hard for them to go back
Yeah.
and try to perform. So there's like I got to spend time remembering these lyrics.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this concert is for this album. Say if I do perform majority of the album, if it's like the big hits, sure, I go back to it. But like a specific song that is a hit for y'all, maybe not for me, I may have forgotten some of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Having the benefit of time. Yeah. I mean, look at that for Cuddy then versus now. Like he did a lot of shit off of Man on the Moon 2 during Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, and he didn't do anywhere near as much of it with the new show.
Yeah.
I was about to say when we went to go see him, he openly admitted though
he's moved on.
Yeah,
he's not going through that.
No, it's well, so that's true. But then he did stuff from A Kid Named Cudi. He opened with Down and Out.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it's like he's just going back into like stuff that he's nostalgic for. Yeah. Down and Out just made it onto streaming, so that's like a part of it for sure. And that's just like, you know.
And then there's even another step to it. Because like I remember one that's like where like sometimes even going back to those old songs is painful for the artist, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe like the best example I can think of is Brockhampton, Kevin Abstract. The song Junkie off Saturation 2, where he calls out his mom for being homophobic. He's like, we moved on. Like my mom's been like wonderfully supportive like 6 months after that album came out. He's like, I can't perform that live anymore. I can't talk like, and it's like, yeah, like sometimes like the real world, you know, takes precedent. And like in those examples, I always try to, you know, give people grace. You know,
I mean, that's how Tyler is.
Yeah.
He's talking about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tyler is a great example because he has two totally different careers.
Yeah. But to me, like I'm not super familiar with either of these artists' back catalog to the point where, you know, that combined with the half bottle, like kind of made for like a very glistening experience, if I do say so myself.
So with JID, it makes me think about Slim Village.
Yeah.
It makes me think about DiCaprio 1, DiCaprio 2.
Yeah.
I don't think people really realize how big of a category he kind of has.
Yeah, he does.
Even though a lot of his songs do feature other artists.
Yeah.
But we've all seen people perform their verse for a song at a concert and just cut it off.
Yeah,
I mean, Smino did that with a couple, I think maybe 28 cents, maybe.
No.
Where he just did his verse and then boom.
90 Proof and what was the other one? The one with Pro Freak.
Well, the 90 Proof is
90 Proof. And the one he has with Doechii, because I thought she was going to be the special guest. I looked at Jasper and I said, I think the special guest is going to be Doechii. Don't get your hopes up for Chance. I was wrong.
I knew right away when they started doing instrumentals. It sounded like instrumentals off of Acid Rap.
The crowd has started saying, I don't know if y'all remember.
I heard it behind us.
The crowd kept saying, Saba, Saba, Saba. Yeah. And I was like, that makes sense.
I would love it if Saba and No Name were there and they did that one Ghetto Sage song.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring it up later. No Name, Saba, and Smino. I feel like this would have been a perfect opportunity for them to come out and just be like, hey, we're going to perform the one song we did.
Literally the one.
Hey, we haven't given up on the group yet.
Well, I think they probably have.
Town.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another missed opportunity that fills me with rage, which is when we saw Cudi in 17 and he brings out Kanye for Father Stretch My Hands and they do it and Kanye's there and they didn't do Erase Me. They didn't do Erase Me.
He left immediately after.
I know. I'm like, I know the reason is because Kanye doesn't know the lyrics to Erase Me anymore. I guarantee that's why. But like still, like come on.
Yeah.
With Erase Me as a fan, yes. For like the game that we played earlier, how many people really was on Erase Me like that?
That song was huge.
Hey, at that show, he played Mr. Rager, he played Marijuana, he played Ghost, and he played like one other song off of Man on the Moon 2. He was in his bag for Man on the Moon 2 that
those three that you named were pretty big songs.
Not bigger.
I think Erase Me was up there.
Not bigger than Erase Me.
Erase Me was the hit. Erase Me and Mr. Rager were the hits off that album.
I was about to say it.
All right, we're about to look at something.
Pull up the incredibly flawed Spotify analytics.
Let's go.
Not be upset at the numbers that we have to use.
Yeah.
That's true.
268
I think we should
million
abandon
plays.
numbers.
It is number 2 on the album behind Mr. Rager in terms of streams.
What was the other song?
Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ghost isn't even close, bro.
Ghost is
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
Solana was big as well.
That's true.
But
I think JID said was good.
Well,
I don't know why.
It's a classic like album tour, where it's like they're very clearly hitting this album.
Yeah.
Which he has another tour coming up.
Right.
What do you think he's going to do differently?
Well, I think the
course.
next tour is almost going to be exactly the same, maybe longer, because it's just him in Europe.
I was about to say, and this might be kind of a hot take, but this is really Smino's like concert. Like, I feel like this is his tour.
I got that feel.
Yeah,
feel like
I get the vibe. Yeah, because the symbol is very much Smino. He was very much
Really the symbol.
He had a longer set, or at least it
He
felt
went
like
further
him.
back in his discography. He did a lot older songs than JID did.
Yeah.
And you just feel like in general, especially in Chicago, he has a bigger influence here than JID does.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
So it just felt natural.
I mean,
even the star guests that came on Chance came out with Smino, not JID.
I mean,
To me-
and like Smino might just be a bigger name, or at least was until the Forever story.
I think here, yes, because to me,
biased.
JID feels like the evolution of Southern rap. Like he feels like new Andre 3000 almost.
That's cool. I have my theory. I think JID is the rebirth of Eminem. I think he's like the next. Well, no, he's the only person. He's the only person doing the dense lyrical style.
It's true.
And that is the hallmark of his music. Like, don't get me wrong, like he's creatively flexible, but that's his thing. And
he said in an interview that we were watching recently, like he admits he doesn't even listen to other artists that have that jittery.
He does not. Yeah, and he's like,
he listens to his own music, but that's
but how many artists are there currently that kind of have that flow he has?
How many good artists? Only JID.
Right.
Yeah, there aren't many. Yeah.
All the good ones are older ones.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Busta Rhymes?
In the age that he falls into, there's not a lot of other artists that fall within that same range.
We gotta actually think about this for a second. There's got to be somebody actually doing a fast flow. We just can't think.
But he doesn't just.
I mean, like
always start with that.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes he starts fast and stops. Sometimes he starts slow and then speed up.
I mean, I think about people.
What about Chance?
Chance does not flow that fast.
Not that fast, but he has his moments, I feel like, of like fast flow. But the whole song is never like that.
It's not his signature move,
No, it's not.
Do you know who JID? Do you know who JID's like?
Yeah.
He's like Tech 9 if Tech 9 wrote good songs. Like that's what that's how I feel.
I don't know the reference. I'm sorry.
Isaac does. Isaac does. Like, do you know Tech 9 and Immortal Technique, the technically very gifted rappers who just don't make very good music?
A lot of people.
It's like Denzel Curry. It's like Denzel Curry said, "My bitch bad." Like when battle rappers make albums.
But like, there's not a lot of, and it's not just his speed; it's his delivery.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explosive.
It's also the dense like the lyrics are always very dense too.
Yeah.
So for someone that falls within that age style,
he's the only person doing it, really.
Is nobody
currently?
Yeah,
he's the only one. We're looking. He's kind of the only one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and really, that gives him a benefit.
Yeah.
That gives him a benefit.
And you know what? Honestly, like I think it's refreshing at this point. I think hearing someone like JID do it, someone who can actually has a better ear for instrumentals, has a better like sense of what makes a good song. I think I like it way more than I probably ever liked Eminem, to be honest with you. As much as I appreciate his impact on music, and I think he has some really stellar albums and some classic masterpiece songs. I like JID more than I ever liked Eminem, like in the moment.
I think Eminem's career, the section of his career that sounds more like JID, is significantly the weaker portion of his career. Early Eminem did not sound like JID at all. It's like over time he's
early Eminem. That's true.
So there's like, for me, I feel like there's a cut. It's like everything 2013 and after
is like
musically totally different from pre 2013 Eminem. For me, it's like he gets faster. He gets different producers. You get Rick Rubin producing Eminem, which I think was a terrible combination personally. And you get just like this like faster, choppier flow where it's just like it's going the anti-mumble rap route, but in a direction nobody wants to listen to.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I feel like that's where JID is. Like I feel like exactly. You know, like Rap God's cool, but like make a whole album out of that and make it sound good. And JID did, and it's called The Forever Story. Like,
and I was going to say, the most recent person that tried to do it, it was not that successful. Low key was Logic.
Yeah, and he was not.
Don't talk about that.
I was just saying he tried to do.
If Logic tries to hand me a bologna sandwich, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker.
Wait. Okay, look, I'm the resident Logic defender,
and you will leave.
I do like Logic,
nah, man.
But I will admit,
recently, you don't like the biracial Romeo.
Vibration.
Okay, recently
you're annoying.
It's not until recently that I kind of was like, "What are you doing?"
But the thing is, when you think about Logic trying to speed rap, it's specific to the Young Sinatra mixtape.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Back to the mixtapes, but when I think of Logic, I don't even think of speed rap.
He has his
boom. I think of boom bap, the type of rapping style.
Boom, boom, boom.
The northern eastern part of the United States.
He does that more.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that hurt Logic because a lot of people don't listen to boom bap.
Well, the thing is with Logic, he tried doing too much at one point.
I think the thing that hurt Logic is multiple releases every calendar year.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think the thing that hurt Logic was being Logic.
To an extent. I mean, Supermarket. I don't know.
That one.
Every artist has an experiment.
Yes, cup.
I don't think every artist has a disappointment.
That phone number song. I don't want to be alive.
A couple weeks ago, you guys had mentioned. You guys had talked about Kid Cudi with Speeding Bullet. That was an experiment.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Some experiments pay off though. Kids See Ghosts was an experiment.
I'm gonna say
his album was an experiment.
Some people have experimental albums that fail. Some people have experimental albums that do really well, but I don't think every artist has that album that has failed. I mean, look at Lil Yachty, Start From Here, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of good experimental albums get rewritten in our history and our culture, and we don't even think of them that way.
True.
You know, like I think the first Run the Jewels tape was a very experimental for those two artists in that time, but now it's just the beginning of a hip hop, like a group, right? It's the experimental nature of it is like eroded by time. Sometimes, not always.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. I think you could argue that at the time, Igor was considered experimental for the space that it inhabited.
Yeah, for the point. Yeah, it was kind of like an experimental pop. You know, it was kind of
and now that's like the sound of like a certain specific sub-style of pop rap.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Jasper. Yeezus was experimental.
Yeah, no, it was, but Yeezus again was something that people didn't take to at the time. But here's the difference, right? Yeezus aged like fine wine, and you can go back and everybody was throwing hate, everybody was throwing shade.
I also think Yeezus was less experimental than people give it credit for.
That's fair too, because it was based on other artists' signature sounds, just incorporated into a new genre.
I agree. I think Yeezus is in the upper half of Kanye's
but Supermarket is not that. Supermarket does not do those things.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Good job,
Jasper.
Yes. Good job.
What's more experimental? Yeezus or Heartbreak?
808s?
808s, yeah, 808s. What was more experimental during the time?
I feel like that's kind of like an impossible question to answer because, and let me explain why. Because 808s was like a completely fresh sound, right?
Yes,
but I think it's fair to say 808s was still kind of chasing the Kanye sound a little bit. It was still kind of trying to like be like that top 40 hip hop sounds. Not sounds per se, but like the songs themselves.
The format.
The format for sure. Whereas like Yeezus was very much building off of what artists were doing in other genres. Like it's kind of hard for me to hard for me to buy that like an album that was executively produced by Daft Punk is anywhere near experimental. Great, sure. Experimental, I'm not quite so swayed.
Here's what I'll say to that, right? These two albums are both experimental in different ways based on when they came out and what pop culture was dictating was the sound of the time.
Yeah, totally fair. Totally
the
fair.
The Bling era being what it was, the juxtaposition of 808s to Bling era is what made that album sound experimental. Was it experimental in hindsight? No. Look at The Weeknd. Look at what is pop now in terms of sounds that have been taken and then emulated and then improved upon and iterated on.
Yeah.
Versus you look at the heavy industrial sound that was in, Yeezus at the time. That is music. That is, in terms of pop rap, something that was never in the genre up until that point. So at that point, there was the feeling of that this is something new and experimental. But I mean, you had artists like Death Grips and motherfuckers doing that shit for what 5-10 years prior. So it's a matter of the
Never
fact that like
Death Grips.
It's just the fact that and even like Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that. It's like you have sounds that are just it's how much they juxtapose whatever the pop culture sound is. Mm-hmm. And I think you could make the argument that 808s was more so given the uniform style of Bling rap, like the Bling era rap from like 2000 to 2007. But then you look at how quickly things change from 2008 through 2013. So suddenly Yeezus becomes less polarizing because the music landscape is starting to open up and diversify more. The sounds of hip hop are changing. And because of that, Yeezus becomes not so much a controversial figure as it is like I would say a transformative one. Because
its influence was huge.
Yeah, if you don't have Kid Cudi's early projects and you don't have 808s and you don't have like the start of, I don't even know who else would fall into this. Like if you don't have the start of like Jay-Z's switch over with like Magna Carta and the more electronic sounds that come with that, you don't see Yeezus develop in the same way and incorporate the same space.
I also think if you don't see the same overwhelming success from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, you don't see, because I think like a lot of the ethos that went into Yeezus was a direct response to to that album.
It's maximalism to minimalism.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so about the concert.
We're back.
Now, like, what do you guys think? I actually have something I want to bring up. What do you guys think, like, in terms of vibe, right? Because here's the thing, like, you say JID and Smino, like, they just sound good together, right? It sounds like a good tour, and it was a great tour. But they very clearly have very different vibes. And, like, I found the vibe that the energy Smino brought to his performance, like, how it was as laid back as the album was, I feel like hype energy is so often expected at these things. And like, don't get me wrong, you got that. No problem. But I think being able to have like those smoother, more relaxing, like kind of like vibier songs, like, it was a really nice change of pace. And JID just goes hard. JID feels like a one-man rock band. Like he
the live music.
Also,
the guitar, dude. The guitar.
Yeah. Oh, also another artist who could definitely, I think, cross over the rock if they wanted to. JID. 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Him and Denzel both could totally jump at the rock and do it if they wanted to.
I mean, they technically already have.
Hey, Denzel. That's 2/3 of Talk About Me, and Cudi already did it. Where's the group? Let's make WZRD a thing again, please.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, in terms of what you're saying, it is a very interesting concept because obviously for me, I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm a major fan for both of them. So it just kind of works in my mindset. But even taking a step back, these are two very different artists and two very different albums. It is an album too.
I think on paper is like, it's the perfect match.
Right.
And concert wise, it was dope. But to me personally, when I visualize it and go back and think about it now that it's over with a couple of days,
it's too conscious.
The contrast is a lot more than you think it would be. It's like it's a lot like cooking, like with flavors. It's like sometimes you think like flavors will taste good together, and then you put them together and they do, but they don't taste how you will expect.
Exactly.
Right? It's like that cheap example of the
way...
Garrett's popcorn. Like you don't think that's going to work, but then the flavors mix in an unexpected way.
The only way I could see it not working is if Smino had come out second the way he did and failed to match JID's energy level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which is interesting because it almost feels like he's playing with a handicap considering how laid back his set was.
And yet he still managed to
100%.
he still managed to build the hype. I think it was just the crowd. The fact that the crowd played to his vibe, knew him more was to his benefit in this case.
It's also very true.
I bet that any show in like Atlanta or some shit is like it's completely one-sided.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
I've seen their Atlanta show like on Instagram. It's the exact opposite. JID is the performance, but it makes me think about what you said. What would have happened if Smino came out first? Because like if they started off with a lower energy and then build up,
I felt like it would have been a cleaner. That was my thinking the whole time. Is that it just would have been a cleaner ramp, And but like Smino is the larger name at this point, I'd say,
and in this region,
And in this region, yeah. I still can't believe I saw Zero Fatigue. I have like a weird memory because I don't remember any of the music. I just remember the chant Zero Fatigue that he did at this show. Like,
I mean, that's his signature. It'll probably never go away.
Yeah. Man, and he hit all the hits, I think probably my favorite from his was, not counting No L's, was probably Defibrillator.
That's a good option.
I just love that song from the album.
What I'm shocked about, No Infinity. Like, I would expect that. That's probably like one of his biggest songs.
Yeah.
But maybe it would have been too slow because that is a very low key song.
He's just trying to keep things rolling.
All right. Do we want to give it like a grade then?
Sure, we can do a grade.
Yeah, because it seems like we're just going to circle the drain because half of us were drunk. But obviously, as far as stagecraft and presence goes, I think they matched their music perfectly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think the venue was perfect. How they had the Infinity Heart in the background. Yeah. The band was awesome to me personally.
I love that. I'm a sucker. If it's a hip hop show and there's a live band, I'm there. That's why I'm telling you guys got to go to Riot Fest because that's like default there. Lupe Fiasco played with a live band. Vic Mensa played with a live band. Action Bronson played with a live band. The only hip hop act I know that played there without a live band was Run the Jewels, actually. Ice Cube played with a live band.
I think there's more artists starting to realize when it comes to concerts, there's a different energy, a different vibe when it comes to having a band there. Because so I've been to a total of 4 concerts now. And each time I went, there's been a live band. Well, no, I take that back. The Dreamville, the J. Cole Force Hill Drive wasn't a live band.
Yeah.
But the other ones I've been to were live bands.
Wow.
And it's just a different take altogether.
Yeah. I think if you're a really, really talented MC or an extremely talented producer, I think you could totally make it work. I saw Kendrick twice without a live band. And it was great. I saw J. Cole without a live band. It was great. Pusha T. Did he have a live band? I don't think so.
No, he didn't. Yeah. One thing I noticed also that I feel like I really have almost never seen in rap shows that happened at this show. Neither of them used their backing vocals, like their bass vocal tracks.
No. Smino had a whole backing artist up there.
Yeah. Well, so many times you see rappers where it's like, they'll basically underlay the bass vocal track and then they'll just rap over it, especially like when they're engaging with the crowd and stuff. They didn't do that. They actually like they were the ones rapping the entire thing, which is super cool to see. Cause like you go to like, I remember like pretty much everybody I've seen since, like Cudi does it a little bit. I mean like Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz, when seeing them at Coloring Day, it's basically just the song is playing in the background and they're just like going over it.
They're walking around.
when you think about JID and Smino, like, I don't want to say they look at their craft differently,
But they're craftsmen. They're artists. That's what they are. Yeah.
yeah. Like, and when you had brought up Jig can cross over into rock, I think with him and his style and what he does and his lyrics and how he delivers, he can do that. I don't need you to play my vocals in the background. I got it.
Yeah.
And with Smino, with it being some of the kind of that smoothie, almost jazzy hip hop vibe,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't sound right not having me saying the lyrics myself.
Yeah.
And the girl that was with him, if I'm not mistaken, she's been with him from day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, aren't they related?
I have no idea. Someone at
If
work,
it's the girl that I think it is,
yeah,
I believe
knows her backstory, and I don't.
they might be related. I could be wrong. But I mean, Smino comes from this family, comes from a family that knows me because his dad was in music. So he has a different appreciation for music altogether.
St. Louis underrated.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Oof. All right.
Great.
I give it an A. I got no. I'm kind of a sucker for a live show, so it's like, don't get me wrong, like, as long as you're not 100 gex, I probably liked you. Like,
It's a fair thing.
yeah.
I'm about the same thing. I would give it an A from what I can remember. I don't believe I remember seeing a lot of, like, I think the stage presence was very nice, but in terms of like special effects, there wasn't
not a lot.
There wasn't any lasers. There wasn't nothing crazy like that,
Yeah.
which is sometimes nice. So that's why I wouldn't say like A+. So I would say A.
Yeah, I'll say A, because like you can get away with some stuff at the Aragon. You can definitely do fog and lasers. Kid Cudi did an excellent laser show. I believe. Yeah. But you can't do any pyrotechnics. Like that's just like actually no, that's not true. I saw oh my god, this is embarrassing. I saw MGK there, like during the Lace Up era. Like,
hey, no, that's not embarrassing. Lace Up is overhated.
Yeah, Lace Up.
I'm gonna say it right now.
During the Lace Up.
Don't look at me like that, Purvis. Lace Up is overhated. Have you listened to it? Have you listened to Lace Up?
I don't want to. Do I have to?
It's not bad. He's got some decent songs on there.
I don't think it's aged particularly well though. Like,
no, I'm sure it hasn't. But like some of the songs on there are like
it just wasn't the same thing he's doing now, and it wasn't the same thing he was doing immediately before.
If you defend MGK, I'm going to continue to defend Logic.
I'm not defending MGK.
Me neither. I'm just saying like
I'm not defending MGK. I'm saying this was 2014.
Yeah, it was a different era. He's made some
decade. Yeah,
he's made some very bad music in different genres since then.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good album since, in my opinion.
Yeah, as far as everything else, like that's the one that stands out as like having the most redeeming qualities. That's the way to put it.
And also the amount of titties at that show, insane. Like,
yeah.
All I can say is I recognize Wild Boy, which is a good song.
Yeah,
the entire song, the entire album sounds like Wild Boy. Like,
well, no, there's a lot of slow stuff.
There's some slow stuff, and some of the slow stuff is good. But like a lot of the hype tracks all kind of fit into that mold. I'm not saying you have to go listen to it. I'm just saying Invincible is a good song. Yeah. I'm not saying like you have to go listen to it. I'm just saying like it's not the same thing as the music he's making today. And I saw him there and he did pyrotechnics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
man, no, this came out in 2012, dude. My God.
Yeah.
It's a different time. You were
old.
I was a different person.
You're the youngest one out of all of us.
Who, me?
This is 2012. It feels old. That's 11 years.
Dude, I was already out of high school.
As I said, I didn't think the rest of it what it feels.
2012, I was coming out of college.
I was
married and had a baby. That's wrong. I finished college in 2010. I got married and had a baby in 2012.
I was in high school.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Damn.
I was 20. I was 20 years old. Like
I was 15.
I was like, I did not start college yet.
Your heart and Don Chillo. He said, "Damn, how old are you? Damn."
I remember the Kevin Hart. Damn.
You said it like that. No, I didn't say it like that.
Jasper, you want me to give a grade, or you want to go first?
What do you think for a grade, Jasper?
For a grade, honestly, just because I'm not as familiar and like not as much of a fan, like I like JID and I know some songs, I know some of the Forever Story, but like I don't know it well enough. Obviously, I don't know Smino that well. I was gonna give it a B, and then I got some up close and personal views after the show where I got up onto a certain balcony and got to watch the takedown, and I noticed that the hearts are actually chrome.
Yeah,
and that bumps it to a B plus for me. The fact that it's like a solid set, fire, B plus.
I'm going to go with a very, very high B plus.
Okay,
like a point or two more, maybe an A minus, but a B plus.
Yeah. I think I was gonna go B plus, but then the chance thing kind of knocks it up for me.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
He's a guest. He's not technically a part. He's a part of concert, but not a part of concert.
He did one song.
Yeah,
that's
I think like that'll knock it up from a B plus to an A.
If they had performed outside of Chicago, he wouldn't have been there.
Sure, but that's what makes it special for you.
But it does help because it is Chicago.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, maybe this is why I'm a little bit biased. My wife and I went to Saba, to the what was it called? No, but what they call it? What day?
John Walt.
We went to the John Walt Day concert with Saba and the whole Pivot game.
Mm-hmm.
Chance came out then,
and his son was on.
And he did more than one song. And to be honest with me,
he did the full song.
How many times am I going to hear "You Don't Want No Problems with Me"?
Yeah.
He's got to come out with a good album that follows that one.
If he would have came out with if he would have came out and did I probably would have changed my B to an A. That's just me personally.
I gotta think what songs though, because again,
but like what song also goes harder than No Problems though? No Problems.
Chances?
Yeah, No Problems goes.
It's like
really hard.
Honestly, hot take inbound. Fuck you, Tom Bout.
I mean, all of them. Smoke again.
From a beat perspective, Fuck You, Tom Bout is harder than No Problem.
So I have to give it a B. I'm giving it a B plus without taking into consideration the chance coming out.
I feel like you just gotta take it all as you got it. Like it's like if you're gonna rate like a steak, you gotta rate the steak you got. If it's overdone, you gotta rate the overdone. And like this is the exact opposite.
Even with him coming out, like I said earlier, hindsight, buying the tickets. Oh, this is the perfect.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Is like I would not have held it against this show for not having a guest. But the reality is, I went to go see this, and then I got a 16-song set, the Smino set, and Chance showed up for one song. To me, it's whipped cream. It's you're right. It's not something that's gonna switch, wreck the grade point average, but it's that little bit
plus 89% B plus.
I'm done with this. Let's do recommendations.
Recommendations?
I'm about to destroy things. Like I am shaking under my
All right, one song each.
Are we doing one song? I have so many backed up. Can we please just do 2 songs each?
Fine. Look at the doc. I have literally like 10 songs.
I have like
that makes it so much easier for me.
Okay, let's just do 2 each. I'm sorry. When we have a guest, we just gotta do 2 each every time. I'm sorry.
I came prepared.
Good. All right. Do you want to go first, Isaac? Guest man of the hour.
Okay, sure. Okay, so my first song, the name of the song is called Casa Lopez.
Yeah.
The name of the artist, I believe, is pronounced Venna, Venna, featuring Masingo and Mick Jenkins.
That's super cool. I love Masingo now. I'm getting really into him.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. My wife and I had looked at tickets from when he was coming here, but unfortunately it wasn't working out for us. But we also had considered maybe we'll just go to Miami and see him.
Yeah.
So that's my first recommendation. Do I go back to back or you want
No, we all go around. It's like a blunt circle. You gotta wait for everyone else. Purvis, you want to go because you're in the same square?
Yeah. That's
Brady Bunch.
All right, I'm gonna move some things around then. My first song is going to be Too Hottie by Quality Control featuring Lamigos. Absolutely banger song. High energy. Love to see it. That's what I'm here for.
Wow. Okay. Oh,
All right. Who's next?
I'll go. Okay, so I want to recommend a throwback. This isn't a hip hop song, but I think there'll be appreciation for it. It's probably one of the best produced songs of all time, I'd say.
Interesting.
I'm recommending Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Barry White.
Hey.
I heard that song. First off, my parents used to play Barry White like crazy when I was a kid. So I just got a lot of love for his music as a whole. And they played it at the wedding me and Rachel went to a few weeks ago. And it was just like, I was just in the right mindset. And it's like, holy shit, this like song like opened like a flower. It's so wonderful. And I really do think it might be Quincy Jones might be one of the best producers of all time. This might be one of the best produced songs of all time.
I'll give it to you. All right, Jasper.
I have two that will shock you.
Oh,
one is
boy.
going to make you feel really old, and one is going to say, damn, I didn't know he knew that. So which one do you want first?
Do the second one.
The second one? We want the damn?
Let's do that one.
I'm going for somebody who I think is extremely underrated, who I think technically could hold the title of rapper, even though they don't operate in the rap genre generally.
Okay.
Janelle Monáe.
Oh, okay.
Django Jane.
No, Janelle Monáe, she is on my wall right above that Chicago thing. I love Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe is underrated,
She
man.
is-
I feel like
She's she's underrated by the culture. Like she's
that's
probably,
what I'm saying. Yeah, she's
she-
like in film and she's in pop and all this shit, but she's not like taken seriously. And
She-
Django Jane has bars.
this is a controversial take.
Go for it.
I think she deserves to be Beyonce.
Whoa.
Like don't get me wrong. I think Beyonce deserves to be Beyonce as well.
I think Alicia Keys.
No, I think Janelle Monáe at just like that. Alicia Keys is a great singer, a great instrumentalist. Don't get me wrong, but I think Janelle Monáe is just a better artist.
Janelle Monáe is not a singer.
That's true. That's true. She's got the pop. She's got like the pop sound down.
Yeah.
That's the separation. Yeah, that's definitely a separation.
Hey, that's just the way it make me feel.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
good.
you for
I like
that.
that song.
Thank
a
you
lot.
for that.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate
for
that.
sure.
Okay, but
We're very pro Janelle Monáe in this house.
Man's really wrote Jangle Jang. It's Django Jane, like Django Unchained.
oh, there you go.
I'm glad somebody looks at that.
Yeah. I'm keeping tabs because I need to know what I pick so I don't pick the same thing 2 weeks in a row.
I've done that. I've done that
Add it
before.
to it. You can always do control fine.
Yeah.
Here, I got it.
All right, Isaac, do your next one.
Okay. I came prepared. I had about 6 songs and I was trying to debate which one I wanted to do. But since one of you decided to go deep into your bag, I'm going Rick James, Fire to Desire.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
The Spotify DJ has been really.
It's been really good.
It's even getting better
learning.
too.
It's been learning.
Am I the only one that has an Android phone?
No.
Jasper.
Oh, you have an okay, cool. Because I think when Purvis and I were comparing, there's a slight difference between Android and Apple. I believe mine. I don't know if it has an extra step ahead of them or not, but it's been really doing its thing.
Mine got updated where originally it had problems where it would only play the same songs in a row, and now every time I hit DJ, it plays something totally different.
Yeah,
I'm getting something new all the time.
It's been upgraded.
I had the same.
Yeah,
I had a similar thing, and then mine stopped too. Mine's
and mine has a name now. His name is X. So
yeah, mine has that too. Mine had that from day one.
oh, okay. At first, mine was just like, "Hey, I'm your DJ." Now it's like, "Hey, this is DJ X," and now I'm getting everything continuously new. Keep going. It's been dope. It's been really dope.
I'm DJ X, and this is sad off of question mark.
Yeah.
Set off a question mark.
I don't know what else to call it. What do you want from me?
Better than saying like Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
RLD. It did that to me. Yeah.
It's been improving. Yeah. Okay. My second song then, absolute banger. This collab album needs more recognition or recognition.
And a
The
sequel.
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
Oh yeah.
So
That
good.
album absolutely captures the moment. Going back to like the 70s, 80s vibes, smoking out the window, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Music video, even better. Those are two extremely talented people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that I remember the first song for that dropped when we were moving me into this apartment. Remember that?
You're the one that eventually, because like I was like, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. You was like, you need to.
Yeah,
up.
no,
And I
it's
was like,
very,
okay.
very well done. All right. I am going to give my last one. And I gave a hint to it earlier. I mentioned the album it was on in our conversation. I'm going to be recommending Red Dot Music by Mac Miller featuring Action Bronson.
No. I was gonna do Red Dot Music, and you already did it before.
Wait, it did?
You already done it as a recommendation.
Oh, then I have another one.
I typed out Red Dot Music, and I was like, wait, we did this.
Oh, then I have another one.
Back up.
I'm
Actually,
gonna
Red Dot Music was gonna be brought up like 4 times.
I'm gonna edit this out. Yes, I can. I'm the one who does the editing.
Keep mentioning
I am gonna recommend Wax On, Injury Reserve featuring Freddie Gibbs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, one of the best guest verses of all time.
Are you sure you haven't done this before?
I checked that one. That one I checked. That one I checked. Like, because I thought I did that one too. I've talked about it a few times when we talk about guest verses. I'm always bringing this song up. But it's
Injury Reserve.
yeah. I think I did See You Sweat by Injury Reserve. I think I recommended that one.
That's also a really good one.
Yeah.
Or Draft the Tesla, whatever, Break the Tesla.
Jailbreak the Tesla. That's another one I really like. I don't know if I've recommended that one. This one I've double checked though.
All right, Jasper, close us out.
My last one that's gonna make you all feel old, somehow even older than Rick James,
Oh, boy.
is, and it's not a song that's older, but it's gonna make you feel old because it's gonna make you feel nostalgic. When I'm Gone by Wiz Khalifa, 2011.
There you go.
2011.
Oh, I hate
That-
this. I hate this.
It was played so much. I hate that song so much.
I love this song. That sound, that like super synth heavy, like 2010, 2011, 2012. Pusha T's Fear God 2 was like soaked in that shit. Everything around this time had that like that sound of like, damn, that's really aged now, but there's such nostalgia there. Just for me
brings
personally.
more emotions than it does nostalgia for me personally.
True.
Yeah, it does. I agree that it's a very good song, but
I just love the build up to it,
Yeah.
like the piano, and just kind of builds into the synth coming in, fading in, and then his vocals, and then the chorus is, I think, solid. So
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah.
that's my pick. Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Was Rolling Papers his best album?
Oh, I
don't
think
know.
so. Or
Yeah,
Cushion Orange
probably.
Juice.
I'm taking Rolling Papers personally.
Yeah, I'd probably take Rolling Papers, but Cushion Orange Juice is there too.
We're not going to dive into this.
I'm about to say,
No.
yeah, I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Had enough.
Not going to ask any more questions.
All right, is that the show tonight, everybody?
It's a show.
Isaac, thank you for joining us.
How much time are we at?
We right at 2:12, so
Okay, that's actually average.
we're kind of like an hour 45, 2 hours is like kind of usual. So for like having a guest on and having it be a little ranty, I don't think that's too bad.
Pretty good.
No, I don't think.
I think you guys are the new Avengers.
Yeah, no, I think we might be. Dibs on Tony Stark.
That's fine.
Tony
If you
Stank.
might get Black Panther, and if I don't, I'm suing for racial discrimination.
You're the new Captain America, and you're gonna like it. Like,
Captain Falcon.
yeah,
You can be America's ass.
yeah. You're Ant-Man. You are.
Oh, God. I'm
You'll
still
bring up
Black
so
Panther.
many other characters.
Yeah.
I'm still Black Panther.
All right. Well, from yous and yours and all of us,
Thank you for listening.
good night.
Adios.
Oh my God.